Chase Sanderson swing throughout the year. Remember, he has been battling some back discomfort off and on throughout the year. And at times you could see not getting the full extension, getting the hands through because that thing was a little bit uncomfortable. When he has got it going and when he feels confident and healthy and that thing is loose, seeing his hands through the zone is just one of the prettier sights when you watch a hitter for this Nebraska team.
Now Dylan Carey, and boy, DC is due for a big hit. Did have 2 hits in the game last night. Huskers have runners on the corners and nobody out. Stump's first pitch. Carey swings and rockets one down the right field line. It is a fair ball down into the corner. Swanson's going to score. Sanderson to third. He'll hold up there. Dylan Carey and the Huskers draw first blood on an RBI double. 1-0 Nebraska.
Well, Ben, baseball's a fair game. You and I both know that to be so true. And Dylan Carey, with the work he put in the batter's box in 2 games yesterday, where he didn't have a lot to show for it on some hard-hit baseballs off his bat, you knew if he continued that same approach, that same confidence in the batter's box, that he was going to get rewarded and in a big spot here early in the game to get Nebraska on the board.
Out comes John Savage, and that will stir the UCLA bullpen.
Man, listen to this crowd.
They're feeling it. It has been such an up and down season for this edition of the Cornhuskers. And they are starting to move at the right time of the year. And we've got our eyes on the Husker dugout on Robbie Bolin. Max Butinback just went up the tunnel, I think, to stretch out just in case. And that is a developing story we have our eyes on. Huskers already down a starter in Joshua Overbeek.
Yeah, Robbie, he's wearing some frustration. I saw him walking. It looked like he was walking a little bit normal coming back out of the tunnel into the dugout, but did see some high fives being offered, but Robbie Bolin wasn't having it right now. He's frustrated, but again, we'll see. He's such a competitor. Now he's up on the dugout steps, so we'll see if 5 comes back in.
Of all the names that were involved on last year's tournament, this is not one of them. Devin Nunees, freshman from Texas, stands in. The first pitch on the way. Nunees takes a breaking ball over the heart, called a strike, 0-1. Dev 2 for 4, had 2 doubles in the game last night against Penn State. Second and third, nobody out for the Huskers. Here's the pitch. Nunees squares to bunt, pulls it back. It's by the catcher, and down the line to score is Sanderson. 2-0 Nebraska. Nunees offered at the pitch, so he's down 0-2. Huskers could care less. They get the run. Carey takes third, and Nebraska has a 2 spot on the board. And there goes Ty Horn to the bullpen as this inning's starting to get extended a bit. He's going to make sure that arm stays loose.
Well, now the depth on the infield right now, if you're Devin Nunees, you put the ball in play somewhere. Just have that opportunity to make contact. You got another one 90 feet away. Just do the job, getting some contact. Because not only do you have the pull side shift, but plenty of depth in the infield that if you get something, especially on the right side, that's going to score them.
Pass ball the call. 0-2 on Nunees. Stump brings it home. Nunees checked his swing. He did. Holding time on the pitch way up and out of the zone. It's 1-2. So a wild pitch and a pass ball in the inning. Pull side shift on Nunees. 3 infielders to the right. Here's the 1-2. Dev takes way outside. 2-2. UCLA getting a left-hander up in a hurry. Out in left field. 2-2 on Nunees. Stump ready. Here it is. High. Good take from Nunees. Full count. Two 2-0 Huskers. Stump set at the belt. 3 balls, 2 strikes to Nunees. Here's the pitch. Rides inside, and I think It hit something, I think the knob of the bat.
Yeah.
For a foul ball.
Yeah, it looks like the bottom, just the bottom of that bat right on the knob, as you said, Ben. Little unfortunate there. Still alive, though.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Nunees fighting up there at the dish from the left side. Carey anxious to score from third. Here's the pitch, high ball 4. And how about the emotion from 1-6 as he trots on down to first. And there go more bodies down to that Bruin bullpen.
Well, Ben, if you go back to even all the way back in March, Nebraska was able to get on stump a little early. But this was the difference between the Nebraska offense back in March and what we've seen here as of late. Is they get that lead, then they would sit on it for a while and not put any more pressure. But this is where you've seen that turn a little bit offensively, where everyone has had their contributions and they've continued to apply that pressure. That's going to be the challenge here for Nebraska to continue that here on stump.
Here's Rhett Stokes. He handles the bat well. Huskers have him on the corners again with nobody out. Stump brings it home. Stokes swings and hits one down the left field line. Foul by a foot. Stokes slightly ahead of that fastball on his inside corner and was a foot away from a double. Love the aggressiveness from 9. I was a little bit curious to see what the Huskers wanted to do with him, giving him the green light. First and third, nobody out for the Huskers. 2 already in here in the second. Stump to the belt. The 0-1. Stokes swings, bounces one to the right side. That's in his right field for a base hit. Nunees going to try to go first to third. Now throws on the brakes. Wins the race back to the bag. Carey scores. It's a 3-0 Nebraska lead in inning number 2.
Hey, you feel good for everybody wearing the uniform today and in this tournament, but you've said it many times. Rhett Stokes, a guy that when he gets his number called, he comes in and just plays. He comes in, he produces. He does so many things for this team, whether he's in the lineup or not. And talk about a guy that's just ready when called upon. And he showed that yesterday defensively, and he even got a hit yesterday, too. There's a big moment for Rhett Stokes in this game.
That at bat right there is vintage 9. I mean, finds that 4-hole, and these Husker fans are feeling it here in inning number 2. 3 home in the inning, 2 on, nobody out for Helixo. We'll see if he's asked to give himself up here. Stump to the belt. And the pitch, Hogan squares, bunts right through it for a strike.
Oh, Ben, I want to bring something up here, too. Another issue with Nebraska this season has been the base running. Devin Nunees, that adrenaline's going. You're going to turn second aggressively. So many times did you overturn that and you get hung up there. Good job by Devin Nunees not getting far off the bag on the turn.
Nothing in 1 on Helixo. Not bunting here. Pulls a ground ball foul. Third base side. Now he's down 0-2.
We've seen Nebraska have that issue where they've aggressively made that turn, trying to go first to third. They hold up at the last moment, then they're in no man's land. Good job by Devin Nunees being conservative there, making sure he got back to the bag without any base running issues.
Helixo in an 0-2 hole. Trying to advance the runners. Here's the pitch. Takes outside for a ball. 1-2. UCLA has basically their entire available pitching roster in left field. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Dimer. Nobody out, 2 on base. Here's the pitch. Strike 3, outside corner. Nicely executed pitch there from Stump. Tough AB from Hogan. First out of the inning, and now Riley Sylvan back to the top of the Husker order. And we do, in fact, have our answer on Robbie Bolin as Max Butinback has grabbed a bat, and that will end Bolin's tournament. That's tough.
That is tough. Off a tremendous defensive play.
Stump brings it home. Silva watches in the dirt. Husker runners hold. Scrambling back to the bag at first is Stokes. Great block there from Duggar, who's been shaky at best on balls in the dirt here early.
I think Rhett was giving Dev a look over there at second, saying, "You sure? You didn't want to break on that one?" But probably a good read there by Nunees.
First and second, one out now for the Huskers. Stump to the belt. Here's the pitch. Hit him. We were due. It has been at least 3 games since Silva has wore one. 19 times on the year, and now how about this for a moment for Max Butinback?
Yeah, Max Butinback coming in, and a local guy that you want to see experience this. This is so disappointing for Robbie Bolin and what he has done in this tournament, and you hate to see him come out for injury, but this is going to do it. We're going to get another visit to the mound. This is it for Landon Stump, but for Max Butinback to now have his moment in front of this crowd on this stage, if you got to replace one great player, how about with another one?
That'll do it for the Bruins starter after an inning and a third. A Nebraska farm fact: soy-based biodiesel, good for our air, environment, and Nebraska economy. Look for it where you fill up next. Got a left-hander coming in for UCLA. We'll give you his numbers after this break on the Huskers Radio Network.
For farmers, sustainability is a way of life. 97% of farms are family-owned, and 95% are participating in conservation programs and using sustainable practices.
I'm Ann Meese, a farmer near Elgin, Nebraska. I grew up on this land, and we're dedicated to being good stewards and leaving it better for the next generation.
Since 1980, U.S. soybean farmers have boosted production by 130%, all while lowering emissions and improving land and water use. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Number 45, Chris Grotus.
So the first call to the bullpen will be for the Bruins here as the Huskers hit in the top of the second. And that will be a lefty. Huskers going to see another lefty. Why not? They have all pretty much this entire tournament. It'll be Chris Grotus. He comes in, making his 16th appearance. He's got a 1-1 record, a solid 4.81 earned run average. He's gone 24 1/3 this season, allowing 19 hits, 13 runs, all 13 earned. He has struck out 24 while walking 12. Opponents hitting .218 against Chris Grotus. Comes in a redshirt sophomore out of Anaheim Hills, California.
Grotus replaces Stump, who works an inning and a third, allows 4 hits, walked 1, struck out 1 through 45 pitches. 3 runs against him already. He is responsible for all 3 Husker base runners. Nebraska has plated 3 here in the second inning. And exactly what we were hoping, Nick. Some early excitement to keep this crowd in the game.
Yeah, they've done that. And now it's all about having that consistency throughout this game. Nebraska, we just talk about it, and even Devin Nunees, the freshman now, some of the guys who haven't experienced this type of environment, this atmosphere, you got to stay within yourself, because that's the worst, is when you try to do more because that adrenaline is pumping. And again, just a little example of heads-up base running by Devin Nunees. And some of these other guys that haven't experienced it, like Max Butinback, who was on this team a year ago, but his role a lot more significant now. And, of course, Max coming off of a long illness. We saw him get an AB yesterday, which was great to see. But now he's going to be playing a lot more baseball in the biggest game of the year.
Chance to punch an early hole in this game. 3-0 Nebraska, bases loaded. Here's the pitch. Butinback swings and fouls one back near Caden Brumbaugh on deck, 0-1. 89 miles an hour from Grotus. Left-on-left matchup for Beauty. Bases loaded, 1 out. You'd like to cash at least 1 more here. Here's the 0-1. Called strike with a breaking ball right on the corner. Now Beauty down 0-2. Tough pitch to handle for a lefty. 0-2 on Max. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Gone on 3 pitches. Second big out of the inning for UCLA.
Oh, this is going to be what to watch with Max Butinback. Remember, had not played, other than that appearance yesterday in the pinch hitting role, had not played since that Friday night game against Minnesota almost a month ago. And so the timing is going to be something to keep in mind and to continue to monitor here as this game progresses.
Caden Brumbaugh, the bases loaded. Grotus to the belt. Here's the pitch. Brumbaugh takes just high, and I mean just high, 1-0. Brum already a base hit in this one. And the Huskers would love to get more here. Good speed all the way around for Nebraska on the bags. Here's the 1-0 pitch. Brumbaugh takes a called strike. A couple inches off the plate. Brumbaugh with some questions for Greg Harmon. And it's 1-1. Grotus comes to the belt. And the pitch. Brumbaugh hits one sharply toward short. Chalowski fields, throws to second. Unbelievable play that just saved 2 runs for UCLA. The player of the year in the Big Ten Conference just takes 2 runs away from Nebraska and Caden Brumbaugh. Brett, Nebraska scores 3 runs on 3 hits, no errors, but they leave 3 big runners on base. Through an inning and a half here in Omaha, it's Nebraska 3, UCLA nothing. You're listening to the Huskers Radio Network.
Farming is hard work. Between managing crops, livestock, and equipment, there's not much time left to handle financing and loans. At Dakota Mac, we can help you do the heavy lifting when it comes to ag financing. Whether you're a full-time farmer, an investor, or a young and beginning farmer, we're here for you for all your ag lending needs. Let Dakota Mac help you work smarter, not harder.
Hi, it's Jim Persinger from Dakota Mac in Ogallala. Call me at 308-284-3260 for all your ag financing needs.
To be a part of Nebraska medicine.
Hi, welcome.
Is to be a part of something extraordinary.
Nebraska medicine, how may I help you?
Because these are the doors that open doors.
How are you?
To growth and opportunity for each other and for our community.
That went really well.
For those who know that the academic experience.
You know what? I agree.
The life experience that you get here is beyond what you can get anywhere else. And that's exactly why here is where you belong. Join us at nebraskamed.com/careers. Nebraska Medicine. Together, extraordinary.
Hands on the wheel, head in the game. The driver has one job, to drive. This message from the NDOT Highway Safety Office. So defensive change. As we told you, for Nebraska, it is Max Butinback now in right field after hitting for Robbie Bolin. Robbie Bolin with a leg injury when he made just a spectacular catch on Mulavai Lavu to end the first inning. Not sure if it's the hamstring or some type of knee or ankle, but he is going to be unavailable the rest of the game. So Max Butinback now in right field for Nebraska.
Well, now, Nick, you're slowly concerned about the health of the Huskers and the depth that they have or don't have left with position players. Already down Overbeek, now down Bolin. Outside of Riley Silva and Dylan Carey, maybe your 2 best defenders. First pitch for Ty Horn after a long sit is ball 1 to Roman Martin.
Yeah, and you're right. This is going to be what to watch for here. Nebraska having a go of it, but a long inning. So how does Ty Horn respond? Pitching with the lead, but also that delay.
There's a strike at the knees. Good pitch from Ty at 93, 1-1. It is a costly catch for Bolin and the Huskers in right. You're glad he made it, but out of the game from here on out. The 1-1 pitch. Slider popped into the air to right, twisting toward the seats.
Max, a solid outfielder, but you lose a step or two from the speed between Silva and Robbie Bolin. You mentioned a couple times, and I think it's an accurate assessment. It's almost a cheat code between those two.
Here's the 1-2 pitch from Horn. High. Two balls, 2 strikes. 3-0 Nebraska. Man, they really need a shutdown inning. Hard to do against this UCLA offense. Here's the 2-2 from Ty. Chopped foul, third base side, over near the camera well. Count still 2-2. Two balls, two strikes on Roman Martin, 303 hitter. Third baseman for the Bruins. Horn's pitch. Hot shot to short past the diving carry into left field. UCLA has their first base runner. That was a rocket off the bat of Martin at 107. Good start for UCLA here in their second inning. Really was a good pitch from Ty. It was right at the top of the strike zone to the fastball. Martin with quick bat speed able to turn that around. Carried no real chance to get that at shortstop. And now A.J. Salgado, the right fielder. Another dangerous hitter for UCLA. 12 home runs on the year. Runner at first, nobody out. Horn has to go from the stretch. The first pitch misses up 1-0. That was a change. Huskers lead 3-0. They left the bases loaded in the top of the second. Horn's pitch. Waved and missed. That was another changeup just below the knees. 1-1. Well, you'd really like to get this hitter after a base hit and a 3-run inning. Another man aboard would really give the Bruins their first momentum, real momentum of the game. Here's the 1-1. Late on a fastball at 94. Over the middle of the plate, it's 1-2. Horn had Martin with 2 strikes. Couldn't put him away. See if he can do that right here to Salgado. Crowding the plate from the left side. Horn ready for the pitch. Here it is. High. 2-2. Horn wants Husker dugout to roll through the signs once more. Sophomore right-hander set at the belt. Here's the pitch. Just missed in, full count. This is a big one coming here for Horn in the second inning. Full count, nobody out, and the man at first. Here's the 3-2. Just got a piece of it back to the backstop. It was a fastball that was a strike. Horn's going to have to come over again. 3-0 Huskers. UCLA trying to punch back here in inning number 2. Horn has the sign. The 3-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Got him on a changeup on 3-2. Big first out for Horn and the Huskers here in the second.
Well, that's big time right there, given the part of this game still so early, but you're trying desperately for that shutdown inning after you get some run support. And you mentioned you're one pitch away from making it a first and second situation with nobody out, where UCLA has a lot to work with there. Coming back and winning that battle, that's a big victory there for 20.
Another left-handed hitter for Ty. Peyton Brennan, the center fielder. First pitch. Hammers the inside corner for a strike, 0-1. Brennan wastes no time to complain to the home plate umpire after that one. That was right on the corner. He's standing right on top of the plate. Horn just executed that one. Here's the pitch. Breaking ball, chopped to short. Carey, Fields, throws the Brumbaugh for 1. Throw on the run. In time! It's a double play for Horn and the Huskers. UCLA wasting no time to call for a challenge, and they will. But for the moment, it's a 6-4-3 twin killing. Look to me from the naked eye partner that they got him. Tell me what you think.
I'm going to assume they slow this down. It's going to even validate that. I'm right there with you. And it was interesting. Dylan Carey, when he flipped that over to Brumbaugh, give Caden Brumbaugh a lot of credit. Gathering his feet, he got it kind of awkwardly and had to throw it on the run as opposed to planting and going, oh, yeah, he's gone. He got him by half a step.
I'm in one of those like stare thingies where you can't blink, so I'll take your word for it.
Yeah, it's a half a step.
first base coach was nonchalant but yet adamant at the same time. Like, he stood there with the earmuff signal for like a good 30 seconds before John Savage
Brennan's
gave
foot is still airborne when that ball is in Sanderson's glove.
Ty Horn took one look at the replay.
He ring him up. Ty Horn rung him up.
And then he started walking to the Husker dugout. I'm not sure how that's how the replay process works.
Yeah, no. Yeah, there's nothing that's going to, at the very least, nothing that's going to overturn this. And how about this now for Nebraska? Remember in the game against Oregon where they turned 3, had a big one last night as well. By my count, I believe unofficially, unless I'm missing one, I think that's 5 double plays turned in a matter of 24 hours for this team.
They help.
They sure do.
There's some hashtag analysis for you.
Well, and if this stands, and I think it will, big-time shutdown inning there for Ty Horn.
Oh, and especially after the leadoff single.
Right.
And then the 3-2 pitch to Salgado really was the inning turner. The changeup that he executed.
And Ben, that absolutely changes your mindset. You win that type of battle, all of a sudden you feel that new confidence, that renewed vigor right there too, where you're one pitch away from making it a pretty dicey situation against this offense. You get that big strikeout, and then you come right back with a good-looking off-speed pitch to establish strike one, and then the ground ball, the subsequent ground ball to get a double play. Here we go, just to make this official.
We've got our verdict. Horn races off the mound and gets the 6-4-3 double play as UCLA's failed challenge ends the second inning. No runs, a hit, no errors, nobody left on base. After 2, Nebraska 3, UCLA nothing. This is Big Red Baseball.
This is the sound of grilling season. It's time to get back to cookouts, to gathering with friends and family, and making memories. And with Hy-Vee's lower prices on thousands of items all over the store, you can still get the best quality meat and everything else you need for your barbecues at prices that will make you smile. Get back to grilling for less, with a little help from Hy-Vee.
It's employee pricing with the Ford crew.
Employee pricing across a full lineup.
Fun fact, Hank, Ford assembles the most vehicles in the country.
Another fun fact, everyone pays what we pay.
So, you get employee pricing. You get employee pricing. You get employee pricing.
Sam.
Yeah?
Everyone gets employee pricing.
You get employee pricing.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Huskers Radio Network.
Alongside Nick Hanley, I'm Ben McLaughlin, Josh Hilkeman, producing for us in our Acres Broadcast Center. When you think office solutions, think Eeks. With locations across Nebraska, let Eeks provide solutions for your business. Office supplies, cleaning supplies, copiers, and printers. Technology solutions and furniture. Visit Eeks.com. Maybe they have some ink for the Huskers coaching staff for next year.
I feel like I've already made my contribution to this team today. Using the Hanley household printer to make sure we got some charts off to the coaching staff.
And now you're going to make your contribution on the air. You got the next few.
I will do my best, partner. Here's Gabe Swanson. It'll be 4, 5, 6 due up for Nebraska. Again, if you're just joining us, Huskers had to make a in-game change. Robbie Bolin, who made a heck of a defensive play, running down a line shot into right center, pulled up limp, and not sure if it's a hamstring, a knee, an ankle, something, but he's out of the game. Max Butinback now in right field for Nebraska. This one is hit over to right field off the bat of Swanson. Salgado at the warning track in right field makes the catch for the first out. A loud out, but an out nonetheless for the Bruins here in the top of the third. Gabe Swanson, anytime he elevates a pitch, this crowd gets pretty excited, and I don't blame them. Here's Case Sanderson. Case had a sharply hit 2-strike hit. Back in the second, came around and scored. He is 1 for 1 today. getting his first look at Chris Grotus. First offering away, 1-0. Grotus came in relief of Landon Stump in the second inning. Nebraska able to put up a crooked number in the top of the second. And they lead it 3-0 out, hitting the Bruins right now 4-1. Next pitch outside. 2-0 now quickly to Case Anderson. Sandy 317 on the year. 59 hits. He's driven in 31 for Nebraska. 8 doubles. Also has 3 round trippers. Up in the count, 2-0 lefty-lefty matchup. The pitch. Inside, 3-0. You're looking at Grotus's numbers, and again, that strikeout to walk ratio. Not exactly what you'd want if you're a Bruin fan. Has shown the inability to find the strike zone at times in his appearances. Does on that pitch, 3-1. Grotus with a 24 strikeout to 12 walk ratio. Not bad. See if Sandy can find something to drive here at 3-1. The pitch, and he hits a ground ball over to Chalowski, backhands it, now fires over to first in time. The one guy you just don't want to put the ball over towards is Rock Chalowski, who already made a very good defensive play to end Nebraska's threat in the second, to end any further damage, I should say, and saved 2 runs from scoring. So 2 outs. That'll bring up Dylan Carey. Had an RBI double back in the second. 1 for 1 today is DC. Shortstop out of Castle Rock, Colorado. It's been the catalyst of those double plays that we mentioned. Nebraska turning 5 in 24 hours. First pitch upstairs with the changeup. Dylan Carey at .295 on the year. Now has the team lead of 19 doubles with that last one in the second. The 1-0 offering. This one is popped up into foul territory on the right side. That's going to reach the seats. So we don't have fans actually in the outfield bleachers, but what we do have is a standing room viewing section just behind those outfield bleachers. But the entire lower concourse is a sea of red, and even in the upper concourse as well. 1-1 pitch. That's tapped foul down the third base side over by third base coach Mike Sirianni. He'll make the jog over there to pick it up. Lance Arvell, first base coach for Nebraska. Mike Sirianni at third. 1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 away here in the top of the third. Nebraska leading 3-0 here in the Big Ten Championship. Grotus working from the stretch and offers. That ball's sharply hits down the right field line. That's going to drop in there. Extra bases again for Dylan Carey, rounding first on his way to second. And he's going to hold up there. Back-to-back doubles for Dylan Carey. And Nebraska with a runner in scoring position with 2 away for the freshman Devin Nunees. Good piece of 2-strike hitting there for Dylan Carey, doing the exact same thing he did in the second inning, going the other way with it. And we've said it so many times throughout this year, Ben and myself and David, of when Dylan Carey has it going, you're usually seeing those line drives middle opposite. He can pull as well as any of them, but when he's going middle opposite with those line drives, that's when you feel confident about what he's doing in the batter's box. Devin Nunees, see if he can pick up Dylan Carey. Walked back in the second. Was stranded. Looks at a fastball away. 1-0. Nunees, 2 doubles last night. .316 hitter. He's had a really solid freshman year. Not an everyday starter, but has been the DH for all of the games here in the Big Ten tournament except for the Michigan State game. He turns on one to right field. This one is going back. Devin Nunees leaves the yard. A 2-run bomb. And Nebraska takes a 5-0 lead. Young fella. Get into one. Devin Nunees. We asked the question, how pumped up would some of these players be that have not experienced This stage, this type of crowd, well, Devin Nunees has been just fine. Wow. That is Devin Nunees' 5th home run. RBIs 21 and 22 for the freshman from Texas. Navasota, Texas native has just made his mark in this game. Here's Rhett Stokes with nobody on, 2 outs. Huskers follow up a 3 spot in the second with a 2 spot in the third. Stokes pops one up foul over the right side, going to reach the seats. And Nebraska continuing to do what they need to with this type of crowd, and that is keep them engaged. And they have done that. 0-1 here on Rhett Stokes. Grotus working from the stretch, the lefty. The pitch shows bunt. Stokes puts one down the right side. This is going to be a tough play. Turns and fires. Not in time. Rhett Stokes with an infield bunt hit. Keeps the inning alive for Nebraska. How about that for Rhett Stokes? A 2-hit game after an RBI single back in the second. And now, look, UCLA is a fantastic team, and what they did to Nebraska and Westwood back in March, I mean, that stands by itself. But Nebraska, you get the feeling they're trying to bully the Bruins a little bit here. Here's Hogan Aligzo, and now we're going to have a pitching change.
Nick, and they're just not scared. You know, they're just the fearless mentality that this team has had. They just embrace it, and they've done such a good job staying in the moment, as Coach Bolt says, staying in the fight.
This will be a Nebraska soybean pitching change. A Nebraska Farm Fact: soy-based biodiesel is good for our air, environment, and Nebraska economy. Look for it where you fill up next. We'll tell you about the new UCLA pitcher, their 3rd of the game, when we return here on the Huskers Radio Network.
Nebraska soybeans power everyday products, from Goodyear tires and Skechers shoes to soy-based turf and fire suppressants. These innovations replace petroleum and utilize other components of the soybean, leading to more sustainable products worldwide.
I'm Doug Sadoff, a farmer near Trumbull, Nebraska. Thanks to cutting-edge research, soybeans are now in everything from tires to turf. It's amazing to see how these advancements are unlocking new potential for our crops.
Soybeans are a win for every product and everyone. Nebraska soybeans, feeding, fueling, and innovating for the future.
Third pitcher for UCLA is right-handed throwing Wylan Moss. And a little bit of a 2-out nightmare for Nebraska. Just a 2-run nuke from Devin Nunees. Nebraska's lead 5-0. This is one of the dudes for UCLA, Wylan Moss. He started 8 games. This will be his 16th appearance, 2-1 record, ERA of 2.43. A couple of saves as well. Mr. Do-It-All for UCLA. 40 2/3 thrown, 39 hits, only 14 runs and 11 earned. Only 12 walks as well, 42 strikeouts. This is a pitching coach's dream right here. 255 points batting average allowed for Wylan Moss. And you get the feeling just a little bit, Nick, that the Bruin pitchers are a bit shell-shocked on what Nebraska's offense has given them today.
Well, they didn't see any of this in Westwood. In 3 games, in that 3-game series against Nebraska, even when they were trailing, we talked about Nebraska, other than Tyler Stone in that series, just had a significant gap. And this is an interesting stat right here. In that April 14th through 16th, runs versus UCLA, just 8. Just 8. First 3 innings today, 5. So, again, you look at what Nebraska's been able to do just in the early part of this game compared to that entire series against the Bruins. The inability to drive the baseball in significant situations, it eluded the Huskers, but that has not been the case for this team in the last month or so, and especially in this Big Ten tournament. So here's Hogan Aligzo, 2 out, 1 on. Wylan Moss, Quick pickoff throw over to first. LeVue puts the tag on, but Rhett Stokes safely under it. Heads up baseball by Rhett Stokes, putting down a perfectly executed drag bunt down the first base line. That's where he reaches. All of this damage with 2 outs for the Big Red. Moss comes set, first offering. Fastball on the outside corner, strike one to Heligzo. Hogan struck out looking with bases loaded back in the second. On a pitch from Landon Stump that was outstanding. I should say Grotus, actually. Oh, 1 pitch, just got a piece of that one as Rhett Stokes was moving on the pitch. 0-2. And again, with this lead, this opens up what you can do on the base path as well. Nebraska's already been caught stealing once. That was Caden Brumball back in the first inning. Here in the top of the third, Huskers 3 runs in the second, 2 in the third. 5-0. Out hitting the Bruins 7-1 early in this one. Still a lot of baseball to be played. Huskers know that more than anything, having seen this Bruin team. 0-2. Here to Heligzo. The pitch. There's a slow chopper over to third. Tough play for Martin. Fires long throw, and they get the tag applied to Heligzo just in time. Mulavai LeVue playing the first base bag, coming off of it, and sweeping the tag on Heligzo to retire the side. But Nebraska has it going at 2 runs off 2 hits. A 2-run homer. 3 hits, that is. 2-run homer by Devin Nunees highlights the frame for Nebraska. No errors, 1 runner left on base. We go to the bottom of the third. Here in the Big Ten Championship game, it's Nebraska 5, UCLA 0 on the Huskers Radio Network.
Being game day ready means bringing the diehard passion, all in, all the time. And now, you can show your Husker pride everywhere you go with the Husker Visa Debit Card, free with FNBO free checking. Gear up, game on, and give it up for the Big Red. Every time you pay, the Husker Visa Debit Card, only at FNBO, the Bank of Husker Nation. Bring it. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
If you've been looking for a reason to fill up your car with unleaded 88, how about this? Unleaded 88
can help you save big at the pump
and save the planet by cutting greenhouse gas emissions.
Any car 2001 or newer is approved to use unleaded 88. Speaking of good, it's made from corn, which is great for farmers.
As I was saying, if you need a reason to choose unleaded 88, there you have them. Unleaded 88. Engine smart, earth kind. Visit chooseunleaded88.com to learn more.
This Husker baseball postseason brought to you by Pizza Hut. Make it Pizza Hut a Pizza Hut day. And also have to thank our friends at Midwest Ford. Visit buyfordnow.com for all your truck, SUV, and electric vehicle needs. You'd love to get another 0 nailed down to the board here after the Huskers step right back on it in the third, thanks to the 2-run jolt from the freshman from Texas in Devin Nunees. And Ty Horn, another long sit in between innings.
Bottom third for the Bruins. Blake Baltz, the DH. Left-handed hitter for UCLA, 7-hole hitter. We'll get his first look at Ty Horn. Baltz is a .257 hitter. 28 hits on the year. He's driven in 22. First pitch from Ty Horn, high and outside of the fastball, 1-0. Ty Horn, now in his third inning here in this start. Working with a 5-run cushion, but as Ty Horn knows, he's got to be on attack. Breaking ball missed low and inside. 2-0 now here to Blake Baltz. And we talked about this a lot yesterday between the Oregon matchup in Penn State. Just being able to establish that first out, especially with the lead. 2-0 pitch. That's off the plate. 3-0. Because unlike UCLA, where they have a bevy of arms to choose from, Nebraska going to be a little more selective with what could come behind Ty Horn. 3-0 pitch. Fastball down the middle. 3-1. Now going to have to climb back. Will Ty Horn. Out of the windup, starts that glove below the waist. So he gets his sign, now brings it up, kicks and fires. Missed on the inner half, so a lead-off walk, and for the second straight inning, UCLA has their lead man aboard, and this is not a trend you want to continue if you're Ty Horn. It'll be Cashel Duggar. Duggar, the catcher. Pretty decent contact hitter, in fact, had a home run against Nebraska in that 3-game series. He's got 2 on the year, so one of those against the Big Red. Fastball in there, strike 1. But there is an area of this lineup, unlike Oregon yesterday, that you can attack, and it is definitely Duggar being one of those guys. Phoenix call the second baseman, 9-hole hitter as well. Breaking ball, just missed inside. Didn't miss by much. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the Bruin catcher, Cashel Duggar, left-handed hitter. With Baltz leading away from first. 1-1 pitch. That one's turned on right to the second baseman. Caden Brumball thought about second. Now we'll go to first with it. And they do get that out. Does put Baltz in scoring position. Caden Brumball made the right decision, though, because his momentum was taking him towards the first base side.
Yeah, priority number 1, get and out. I mean, there's no way you're turning a double play there with the way that ball was hit. And so get an out, reset, and move on to the next hitter. Smart play.
Phoenix call the second baseman, hitting .246 on the year. 42 hits, 7 doubles. He's driven in 29. Does have 3 home runs as well. Right-handed hitter. First pitch hit right to Dylan Carey. Bobbles it, picks it back up, fires over to first in time. Good job by Dylan Carey to knock it down, recover, and not speed up the process. So many times you see a shortstop panic and then throw a bad one into the first baseman to handle, and DC did not do that.
Well, and it's cool for the fans to see DC uncork one. I mean, they get to see the absolute hose that he has at shortstop. And now you're an out away from getting out of this inning. That was the top of the order.
Ben, that wasn't an easy one to handle. He had 105 off the bat from Phoenix call, too. So Dean West flew out to Gabe Swanson in the first, 0 for 1 today. Leadoff hitter for UCLA. First pitch just off the plate with the fastball. West, a .315 hitter, good speed out of the left-handed batter's box. 70 hits on the year. He's driven in 37. Breaking ball, misses low and inside, and that's been one pitch as of late for Ty Horn that he's been unable to locate effectively.
Well, you got to come after West because you don't want to face Chalowski with 2 on.
Yeah, definitely not. He homered yesterday against the Hawkeyes, and he's done it a lot this year. 2-0 pitch. This one is turned on into center field. Riley Silva has a beat on it, waits for it, makes the catch, and that retires this side. Another good job by Ty Horn working around a leadoff base runner. No runs off, no hits, no errors. 1 runner left on base. As we make our way into the 4th inning, it's Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing in the Big Ten championship game. This is Big Red Baseball.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air,
and Electrical.
Huskers fans, switch to solar and save big. With J-Tech, you'll score $500 off any solar installation, a free energy analysis, and a free monitoring system to keep your home running like a champion. Plus, knock it out of the park with a 30% tax credit when you bundle solar with a metal roof. Book your free energy analysis today. Call 402-261-3682 or visit yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction and Solar. Husker powered. Tax credits are subject to eligibility and IRS regulations. We recommend consulting with a qualified tax professional to confirm your eligibility. We are not accountants or tax advisors.
And the tail end of God Bless America being played here in between the third and fourth innings. The Lincoln Airport is the official airport of the Huskers. Book your tickets at GoFlyLNK.com. What a job by Ty Horn. Overbeek doing his part, waving the American flag in the first base dugout. Not playing today, but he told me before the game, I'm bringing the juice. I'm bringing it all day. And I would say holding up the American flag in the first base dugout certainly meets that criteria. We'll see if the Huskers can keep going offensively here in inning number 4 against Wyland Moss.
Well, Ben, you mentioned it. Wyland Moss, their guy. This is a guy that they feel is going to be their best opportunity to stabilize this game. And for Nebraska, again, you cannot let UCLA up for air. 3 in the second, 2 in the third. That 2-run tater from Devin Nunees provided another crooked number in Nebraska's last go at it. Got to be back on it here, and Nebraska will have the top of the order. And just a lot of the same stuff. And you're at that point of the season here, Ben, too, where you go all the way back to Ethan McIlvain from Vanderbilt and just a long line of so many good arms, both lefties and righties, that Nebraska has seen. This is what we talked about going into this tournament when they faced Joseph Jerwa. There wasn't anything on the mound that Nebraska would see that would have them quaking in their boots, that would have them feeling like they're overmatched, because they've seen so many solid pitchers and they've been able to get on a lot of solid pitchers. And I don't think this crowd will allow Nebraska to ease off, but I just think the mentality of this team with 15,000 or 1,500, they're still going to have that same approach.
Stay on it, right? Yeah. I mean, lesson learned from Oregon yesterday. You could really never exhale with that lineup. You can't do the same thing with UCLA. Plus, Nebraska had leads out in Westwood, and they all evaporated. So you've got to stay on these guys, because it's only a matter of time before Chalowski and company throw their punch in this game.
Yeah, Chalowski, Lavu, 2 of the more dangerous back-to-back hitters in a lineup that you're going to see in the Big Ten. And those are the 2 that will lead it off in the bottom of the 4th. But Nebraska will lead off with their leadoff man in the order, Riley Silva. Top of the order for the Huskers. Silva's reached base once, was hit by a pitch. Looks at a first pitch in there for strike 1. So Wyland Moss, the 3rd Bruin pitcher used, 2nd out of the bullpen. Silva officially 0 for 1 today. Moss working out of the windup. Swings and misses at the breaking ball, way out in front of that one. 0-2. UCLA does have activity in the bullpen. See if Riley Silva can put up a fight here, down 0-2. The pitch. There's a ball sharply hit to the right side. Great stab, though, by Phoenix Call. Gets up, makes the throw in time. That's a heck of a defensive play by the Bruins second baseman. Reaching to his left, diving to his left, and being able to collect his feet and make a great throw.
Yeah, that's a big play there for UCLA. One, that's more momentum right on Nebraska's side. And you've got some thunder coming up in the Husker order, and that's all limited now with the diving play there at second base.
So here's Max Butinback, his second at-bat of this game against Butinback. Was inserted into the lineup after Robbie Bolin injured his leg, making a great catch in right center. This one popped up sky high in the infield. Calling everybody off is the catcher, Cashel Duggar. Now it drops foul. Nobody picks it up. Cashel Duggar had it at the last moment, just bailed out. And Mulavai Lavu, the first baseman, with his hands up to his side saying, "What the heck, man?"
And then Roman Martin, I think, was the one screaming for it, but he never even made an effort to catch it.
No. Well, and if you're Max, you got to make this one hurt. And this is when we've seen Max, when he just misses a pitch, it's exactly that. There'll be sky-high infield pop-ups. And that one was center cut. And so Max with new life here. Again, just want to see the timing here for Butinback after the long layoff. 0-1. The pitch. Fastball down the middle, 0-2. Butinback, guy that was obliterating the baseball before he had that long illness. just trying to get back into it here. Going to battle, 0-2 offering. Away, 1-2.
He was on an 11-game hit streak when he got sick.
Yep.
And that obviously was snapped with the pop-out that he had yesterday. But it just proves your point.
Well, he's right there with the team lead before with 7 home runs. The power numbers were surging. The 1-2 pitch bounces in the dirt, 2-2.
And the hope is with every passing at bat,
right,
he starts to get a little bit more comfortable in the box. I mean, it is baseball at the end of the day, but this kid went through the ringer the last month.
Well, it wasn't like he was able to take a bunch of hacks while the team was playing baseball games without him. I mean, he was resting, trying to get better. Here's the 2-2. Swing and a miss. Chase the breaking ball way out on the front side. 2 recorded here for UCLA in the Husker half of the fourth. It's Caden Brumball. Due up here now, 1 for 2. Brumball singled in the first. Got Nebraska's first hit of the game. Was caught stealing. Also reached on a fielder's choice in the second. 1 for 2 today. Brumball entering today's game, hitting well over 300 at 319. He'll get his first look at Wyland Moss. Breaking ball on the outer half, laid off of it, but it is called a strike. Caden Brumball. In this series, we saw him kind of platooning between center and second base before he settled into that position over at 2B. Fastball just missed off the plate. 1 ball, 1 strike on Caden Brumball. Brum with 74 hits on the year. Average now at 320. With the 1 for 2 showing today so far. This one is hit foul down the third base line. Now 1-2 to Caden Brumball. So Wyland Moss has come in. He's worked ahead of Husker hitters.
I was just about to say, Nebraska's had a hard time timing him up, and it's been the soft stuff that's given them problems, the slider and the slow curve. Fastball is only 89, 90, but he really mixes beautifully, which is why he's a starter sometimes.
So Brumball, like the 2 previous Husker hitters, going to have to battle down the count 1-2. The pitch, way outside, 2-2. Huskers with no bodies in the bullpen. Ty Horn, in back-to-back innings, has had to work around leadoff traffic, but has done so successfully to this point. 2 out, 2 balls, 2 strikes on Brumball, nobody on. Here in the top of the fourth, Huskers leading 5-0. The pitch just missed low, and Wyland Moss was already making his way towards that third base dugout. So now count runs full here on Brumball.
I'd be swinging if anything's in the ballpark here.
Yeah, that was close.
From.
And Moss has been around the plate. He has not missed too much. The payoff pitch coming. And he just pokes that one foul. He swung at ball 4, but to your point there, Ben, that thing started out close, and then it just broke away into the left-handed batter's box. I'm amazed that Brumball even got contact there. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 away, nobody on. Brumball trying to keep the inning alive. Huskers have had base runners in every inning. This one is shot into left center field, but right to Peyton Brennan. Comes in, makes the catch for the 3rd out. It's a 1-2-3 inning for Nebraska in the top of the 4th as we head to the bottom of the 4th. Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing here at the Big Ten Championship, the Huskers Radio Network.
Nebraskans are choosing chiropractic for better health. Why chiropractic? Because it's safe, drug-free, and a cost-effective treatment option for back and joint pain. Plus, all generations can benefit from natural chiropractic care. Choose chiropractic first for pain relief or to improve your mobility, athletic performance, or overall wellness. Make chiropractic your first choice for better health and find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Get your life back with chiropractic.
Feel like you're always on the run? Me too. As an independent financial professional, I help all kinds of busy people. Young families planning for college, couples working toward retirement, people securing their legacy. Wherever you are in life, Emeritus can help you get more out of life with insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. You're moving fast. Let's help make sure you're on the path to a fulfilling life. Find your next step at emeritus.com. Insurance products issued by Emeritus Life Insurance Corp.
Your attention, please. The Nebraska Lottery has given $1 billion back to our state since 1993. The money has gone to protect the environment, improve education, and maintain the state fair. It's all part of helping to build a better Nebraska. UCLA stabilizes things thanks to Wyland Moss in the top of the fourth, and now there's Thunder coming to the plate here in the bottom of inning number 4 against Ty Horn, and their second look at him.
It'll be 2-3-4. Rock Chalowski, Mulavai Lavu, and Roman Martin will hit for the Bruins in the bottom of the fourth. Ty Horn didn't have to wait as long in between innings this last one as he had to in innings 2 and 3. First pitch to Chalowski, breaking ball in there, strike one. Chalowski grounded out to Rhett Stokes in the first, 0 for 1 today. And a thunderous home run yesterday in the semifinal victory over the Hawkeyes. That was his 23rd. Fastball just off the plate, and what do you know? It's been a while as Ty Horn's hat has officially come off. There's number 1.
The over's definitely hit. I mean,
I got to say, usually that's happening in the second inning.
Also,
took us to the bottom of the fourth for the hat to come off.
Also, not sure how that's not a strike.
Yeah, that
was right there.
That was there. Here's the 1-1. There's a ground ball hit again to Stokes. Handles it. Takes a couple of steps towards first. Fires over to Sanderson for the out. Another big out recorded. Anytime Chalowski comes up, that one inner half. So came inside on the big righty and won the battle. Sawed him off.
It's hard to get one on his hands, period, but to do it on a changeup.
Yeah.
That's really incredible.
Well, it's gutsy is what it is, too. I'll go ahead and say it. So here's Mulavai Lavu. Had a very loud out and a costly out for Nebraska. First pitch fastball in there for strike one. It was a line shot to right center field. Robbie Bullen somehow came out. It was like he was shot out of a cannon. Caught the ball in right center on the warning track, but as he did so, did something to his leg, and he's been out of the game. This one fouled off, sprayed to the left in the upper deck. And now it's 0-2 to Mulavai Lavu. Lavu also solid numbers, 316 on the year, 12 doubles, 11 home runs. He's driven in 74 for the Bruins. Leads the Bruins in that category. There's a breaking ball low in the dirt. He was on a stretch early in the season, Lavu was, right before Nebraska played him, the end of February into early March, where he had homered 7 times in a matter of 10 games. This one shot over to the Husker dugout, foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes. So coming into that series, it wasn't as much Chalowski getting a lot of the praise as it was Lavu. Big left-handed hitter. Here's the 1-2. Popped up into left field. Gabe Swanson waiting for it. Takes a couple of steps in. Makes the catch. For out number 2.
And Ty Horn is executing his pitches beautifully here in this inning. That was 94 right on the black. And there's just not a ton you can do with that as a hitter.
Well, what's nice to see, too, is the fastball, he's not overworking it. What I mean is it looks like it's just the motion and the fluidity, it's effortless. And that's when you can tell he's got confidence where he's able to locate it. But with 2 outs, got to keep that going against Roman Martin, who had a sharply hit single. The only hit in this game for UCLA. First pitch breaking ball in there for strike 1. Roman Martin, the third baseman. Also dangerous hitter, 307, 13 doubles, 7 round trippers on the year. 0-1 offering. This one's popped up. Right? Over by Hogan Aligzo. Still has the helmet. Now gets rid of it. Tracks it. Catches it for the 3rd out. And the Bruins go quietly in the bottom of the 4th. We've played 4 here at Charles Schwab Field in the Big Ten Championship game. Score remains Nebraska 5, UCLA 0. This is Big Red Baseball.
The visitors are sweating now. Bases loaded and stepping up to the plate, the legend herself, Dorothy Lynch. This homegrown Huskers having an MVP season. 100 RBIs already.
Unreal. That's 100 ribs basted in. What a saucy stat.
Talk about versatility. She dominates every plate appearance. Salads, obviously, but also meatballs, pizza, tacos, and wings. Unstoppable. It's deep. It's gone. You can tell these fans are hungry for more.
At Cox Mobile, we know you're smart. You brush your teeth in the shower to save time, make coffee ice cubes for your cold brew, and wear goggles to cut onions. You also added Cox Mobile. So smart. Now you're running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability and saving on your Cox internet. It's ingenious, just like you.
Aw, thanks.
Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile. Cox postpaid internet required. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. to H 2023. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
Our Secure Care hit of the game. We go back to the freshman, Devin Nunees, in the third inning. It was 2 outs for Nebraska with a runner on, and the youngster turns on one into right field for a round tripper. Devin Nunees, 4th home run of the year. It was quite a hit. He's going to need a chiropractor. To find a chiropractic physician in Nebraska, visit nebraskachiropractic.org. Devin Nunees with our Secure Care hit of the game. That's the last time the Huskers have scored. We've made it through 4, though, the Huskers, with a 5-0 lead in the Big Ten Championship over UCLA. And here in the 5th, to tell you about it is Ben McLaughlin.
Nick, we have to give a special shout-out to Nate Dieterman. He's listening to us, and he's putting pressure on me to get this right, and I won't. Akureyri, Iceland.
Wow.
Supporting the Huskers.
All right.
And
that's pretty awesome.
Maybe he's hanging out with Gunnar Stahl. I don't know.
Or Wolf the Dentist Stanton.
Yeah. Thanks for listening to us out in Iceland, Nate. Top of the 5th inning.
I believe it's Eastland.
Is it green? First pitch to Swanson. He slams one in the air to center, but right at Brennan, who moves to his left to make the catch. That was a rocket off the bat of Swanee. Trackman didn't even register it. It was hit so hard. No, they didn't register anything.
Why is all of our international culture based on cinema?
I said 90s films.
Does that just mean we're not very intelligent? I think it might be.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of several indicators.
Yeah.
Let us know if we got that right.
I'm okay with that.
I don't think that's correct. One loud out here in the 5th for Sanderson. And the first one home, Sandy takes outside, ball 1.
Gunnar Stahl. Some people don't realize if you watch Mighty Ducks 3, Gunnar Stahl somehow becomes the goalie of the varsity team at
that?
Eden Academy. Recycling actors. But he wasn't Gunnar Stahl. Same actor, though.
The 1-0 in the dirt, 2-0. I'd want to change my name if I lost to the Ducks in the junior Goodwill games as well. I'd relocate, so.
Well, you figure you can't beat them, join them.
Yeah. Never quite know what you're going to get with us. You know that by now. If you're new, this is par for the course. The 2-0 pitch. Sanderson way out in front. There's that changeup that the Huskers have just a really hard time putting bat on ball. Seen that really tough on the left-handed hitters specifically.
Well, and on the Gabe Swanson lineout, that was a rare fastball.
2 balls and a strike to Sandy. The pitch. There it is again, and this time a called strike. 2-2. Sanderson 1 for 2. Singled and scored in the second. Grounded out to short his last time up. 1 for 2. The 2-2 pitch. Tried to bust him in with a heater. Case laid off of it, and it's full. Be great to get right back on some offense here for the Huskers. Leading 5-0, top of the 5th. Wyland Moss works from the windup. And the 3-2. Fouled back and out of play. Went back to the off speed. Sandy fouled it away. The hope for UCLA was Wyland Moss coming into the game in the 3rd inning would slow Nebraska down, and it's worked. The question is, how long does he go today? 3-2 to Sanderson. Here's the pitch. Just got a piece of it back near Dylan Carey in the on-deck circle.
Yeah, you pointed out earlier, Cal Randall has been warming. And Randall, another one of their high-leverage guys, gone 20 2/3 on the year. He would be the next Bruin up if and when they decide to go to him.
3 balls, 2 strikes. Sandy trying to win a 3-2 and get himself on the grip board. Moss starts the windup. And the payoff pitch. Oh, he rung him up on a pitch above the strike zone. Sanderson with a stare down of Greg Harmon on his way back to the dugout. Tough one not to get on 3-2. And there's 2 outs for Carey.
Well, Ben, and as we're giving shout-outs, too, I know you and I definitely want to tip the cap to an incredible run for the Nebraska softball team. Their time has come to an end. They lose a heartbreaker to Tennessee 1-0 in Game 3 of that Super Regional. So the Huskers end their season in the Super Regionals. But what a run for Ron Revelle and that team.
First pitch to Dylan Carey. Goes after the first one and fouls it out of play. Those special years, you never want to take for granted, and you always want to be reminded when you're in the middle of them because you just want to enjoy every pitch. And that was the case for Husker softball this year. It was a thrilling victory in Game 1 and fell just a run shy in both days here in Games 2 and 3. So you're right, heartbreak in Knoxville. The 0-1. Carey launches one into the seats. Heads up down there. That was pulled sharply into the seats left side. Now Dylan down 0-2.
Well, and the great thing for not only that softball run, but consider ourselves lucky to have a guy like Nate Rohr on the call for that, too. Brings so much excitement to every moment of those games, too. But what a fun season. I know they'll have time to reflect on it and really enjoy that ride.
The 0-2 pitch to DC. There's a slow roller to the left side of the infield. Third baseman overruns it, backhands it, throws to first. Interesting play from Martin at third to end the inning. There isn't a guy that knows more about college softball around the country than Nate Rohr, and I'll put him up with anybody in the nation for that. So shout out to him and all of his hard work all year. Huskers retired in order in the 5th. Halfway through in Omaha, Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing. You're listening to the Huskers Radio Network.
It's employee pricing with the Ford crew.
Employee pricing across a full lineup.
Fun fact, Hank, Ford assembles the most vehicles in the country.
Another fun fact, everyone pays what we pay.
So, you get employee pricing. You get employee pricing. You get employee pricing.
Sam.
Yeah?
Everyone gets employee pricing.
You get employee pricing.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
No need to hunt around for friendly service, low prices, quality products, and great experiences. You'll find it all with the local experts, Sapp Brothers Petroleum. If you're tired of tracking down another late delivery, it's time to consider Sapp Brothers, where we pride ourselves on delivering products on time or even ahead of schedule, with your safety our top priority. Switching is easy. Just shoot us an email or get us a call. And right now, when you contact Sapp Brothers for any of your fuel, propane, or lubricant needs, you'll be entered to win a guided pheasant hunt next fall. Visit sappbros.net/Huskers.
One of every 3 fatal crashes in Nebraska involves an alcohol-impaired driver. If you drink, don't drive. Impaired driving is deceptively dangerous. From the NDOT Highway Safety Office. Move into the bottom of the 5th here in the Big Ten Championship game. A couple of zeros since 5 runs put up by Nebraska. It's 5-0 as the Bruins will hit here in the bottom of the 5th.
A.J. Salgado stands in. The first pitch from Ty Horn misses inside, ball 1. Salgado struck out his first time up and will readjust the shin guard on the front leg. That was a really, really big at-bat in the second inning with Salgado. After a leadoff single, Horn and Salgado battling to a 3-2 count, and Ty was able to win it. This one just misses out, 2-0. Horn trying to throw the first strike of the inning here to Salgado. Dangerous left-handed hitter. This pitch is ripped into right field. That's going to drop down for a base hit. Second base hit off of Ty Horn for UCLA. Comes on a fastball over the middle of the plate. And a leadoff base runner for the Bruins.
Center fielder, number 11,
Here's Peyton Brennan. He grounded into a 6-4-3 inning-ending double play in the second inning. That was a big momentum boost to the Huskers. Left-handed hitter against Horn. Ty's pitch. Fouled back to the backstop on a hop. 0-1. Huskers in between innings sent all their bodies to the bullpen behind Horn. 5-0 Huskers in the bottom of the fifth inning. Horn to the belt. Here's the pitch. Sharply hit foul, first base side on the ground from Brennan. Count 0-2. Must-win game for Nebraska to get into a regional. UCLA fighting for a host. A lot on the line here today. Horn's 0-2. Swing and a miss. Got him with a breaking ball. Big strikeout for Ty. Good bounce back after the single. Just his second strikeout. And now Blake Baltz, the designated hitter. Baltz walked to start the third inning. 257 batter. Another lefty. The runner at first is Salgado. Short lead for him. Pitch to Baltz. Was low. Did he go around? Yep, sure did. 0-1. Red Stokes off the line at third, even with the bag. Baltz crowding the plate. The pitch. Right on that inside corner. Takes some guts to throw that pitch, and Horn just executed it. Now he's ahead 0-2. Crowd trying to help Ty with this AB. The 0-2 pitch. High with a heater. Try to get him to chase. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Pitch count not an issue for Ty. He's just over 50. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. Just got a piece of it. Ball's rolling up the first baseline. Sanderson will go grab it. Nicely executed changeup on the inner third, and Baltz able to just get a piece of it. Runner at first, 1 out for the Bruins. Horn to the belt. The 1-2. Just missed low. Another changeup, 2-2. Elixo liked the spot. Baltz does not chase. Nebraska 5, UCLA 0. Bottom of the fifth inning. Horn to the belt. Here's the pitch. Just missed up. Baltz has worked it full. He's looked comfortable against Horn today. Has not chased anything. Ty's going to have to come with a strike. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Standing right on top of the plate from the left side. And Horn flips one over to first. Chase back Salgado. Another big pitch in the start of Ty Horn right here. Ty comes set. Big 3-2 pitch about to be tossed out. Here it is. It's rolled just foul first base side as the runner takes off. That was a really good pitch from Horn. Baltz starting to be a bit of a thorn in the side of Ty. He has not chased anything and fouled off all the quality pitches. He has to come with another 3-2 strike. Runner at first and 1 out. Horn's 3-2 pitch. There goes the runner. It hit him. And going to first, he was pouring him over the plate, and the Huskers can't believe it. Ty's saying he stuck his arm out. Baltz is in a lot of pain as he gets his way to first. I think the Huskers are going to look at this.
Oh, he's, I don't. I don't doubt that he's in pain. I think he really is in pain.
But that's what you want when you're crowding the plate like that.
Right.
You're inviting that to happen. I think the Huskers are going to challenge this, and UCLA, for the moment, has 2 on and only 1 out in the inning. I mean, his elbow is way over the line.
I mean, it's definitely where he's set up. It doesn't look like a lean in, but where he's set up, I'm with you, Ben. It's right on top of that line.
The ball, his elbow, it's not a strike. It's not going to be a strike. But where the elbow makes contact with the ball, it's in front of that white line.
Right.
Which is the problem.
Hit by pitch. Nebraska is challenging if there was any intent to get hit by the pitch.
This is going to be tough, man.
Yeah, because the intent.
Yeah, you don't see it. That's the thing. It's more where he's set up. You just don't see a definitive lean in my opinion. And we've seen 2 angles of this so far. The only movement on his front side is what I think is a natural hitter's motion to load up.
In Horn's defense, you can't stick your elbow over that line. So, to me, the intent is irrelevant.
You're
because he's not.
You're not wrong. You're not wrong there.
Although the problem with Nebraska is the verbiage the umpires used when they went to go look at this. Was there intent? I don't think so. But when you're standing with your toes on the line, your elbow is over that line, and you take away any part to working the inside, off the inside corner if you're the pitcher.
And I wonder if Will Bolt's getting a little more of an explanation on the verbiage of what is actually being challenged and what exactly would dictate a successful challenge with what they're looking at here. Because I just don't think there's intent. I think it's a natural load for a hitter when you start to rock back to load up, and that's where it makes contact as opposed to him leaning over the plate. I mean, we've seen hitters do that many a times. I don't think that happened, but to your point about hanging over the plate, here we go. Here's the call. This will be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how this is going to be interpreted.
I don't think it changes.
I don't think it does either.
Ruling on the field is hit by pitch. There was no intent to get hit by the pitch. Nebraska will lose 1 challenge. They have 1 challenge.
And I understand it from Nebraska's standpoint, too, because Baltz is pouring over the plate.
Mm-hmm.
And now the Bruins with the big threat going here in the 5th. First and second. And Cashel Duggar at the plate.
These are the 2 hitters. If you're Ty Horn, you attack.
Duggar grounded out his first time up. He is pouring over the plate as well. First pitch, Horn, strike. Changeup over the middle. Duggar hitting .279. From Valor Christian High School in Colorado. That is one of the premier high schools in the country. Here's the pitch. That's hit in the air, left side. Swanson coming in on it, still coming. He's there. He squeezes. That's the second out. And that is one of the better pitches of the start of Ty Horn. That is a changeup at the knees on the black.
Oh, the job's not done, but let's go over it again. The situation, you feel like maybe a hitter was interfering with your path to the plate there. You don't get a challenge. There's a little bit of a delay. You got runners at first and second with 1 out. And the response there, just like in that 3-2 count earlier in the game, where all of a sudden you're a pitch away from having first and second, nobody out. And he comes back and gets a strikeout.
First pitch to call. He shoots one out of play off to the right, headed to the upper tank. And it's 0-1. Call grounded to short his first time up. He hit a rocket right to Dylan Carey, who made a great play after knocking a ball down that was hit over 100 miles an hour. First and second for the Bruins. It's the first time all day they've had 2 guys on base at a time. 5-0 Huskers, bottom of the 5th. Horn comes set. The 0-1. Breaking ball hit in the gap in left center field. Silva coming in on it, has it measured, should be routine. He squeezes, inning over. After a single and a controversial hit by pitch, the Bruins get nothing on Horn in the bottom of the fifth. No runs, a hit. Hit matter, 2 left. We're through 5 in Omaha. Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing. This is Big Red Baseball.
At Central Valley Ag, we believe there's room at the table for everyone. And in 2025, the year of the cooperative, we're celebrating the strength of farmers like you. Cooperatives were built by farmers, for the betterment of farmers, working together to create opportunity, stability, and a future for the next generation. Because when we stand together, we grow together. Our planet is hungry. Together, we feed it. Central Valley Ag.
You expect your home to protect everything you love, but you don't expect the ways water is breaking down your crawl space and damaging your home. Musty smells, sagging floors, mold are just a few signs your crawl space is compromised. But there's one way to get answers to all your concerns: a free home inspection from Groundworks. We put water back in its place. Get your free inspection at groundworks.com. License number C142293.
Woodhouse has been a trusted partner in your everyday since 1975. Shop for your next vehicle with the home team at Woodhouse, the official auto dealer of Nebraska Athletics. Ty Horn working through some trouble in the fifth, and he's through 5 shutout here in Omaha. Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing. Into the top of the 6th, and back in for us, here is Nick Hanley.
All right, thanks, Ben. Bottom third for Nebraska. Devin Nunees. Last time he had the bat in hand, he drilled a 2-run shot to right field. But Devin Nunees has had a pretty solid go at it in the DH spot for Nebraska. Remember, Will Jeske was the DH in Nebraska's win over Michigan State. Devin Nunees has been the DH since. Obviously, Will Jeske, a right-handed hitter. Devin Nunees, lefty, sometimes playing the matchups. And then Devin Nunees making it really tough for the skipper to take him out of the lineup. But always good to know that you got a guy like Will Jeske waiting in the wings if you need him. And that's that depth offensively. But two key guys out. Joshua Overbeek and now Robbie Bolin earlier in this game, unavailable. Devin Nunees, 1 for 1, walked as well on top of that 2-run homer. Looks at a breaking ball on the inner half, strike 1. Nunees at .322 now in his freshman campaign. Just a solid all-around baseball player. Played some infield and outfield for Nebraska. Fastball right down the middle, 0-2. Huskers looking to put some pressure here on Wyland Moss. He has retired 7 straight Nebraska hitters. The Huskers looking to get back on it offensively. Nunees going to have to battle. 0-2 pitch coming. Swing and a miss. It's in the dirt. Going to have to throw down. Cashel Duggar fires over to first to complete the strikeout. And so that's 8 straight retired by Wyland Moss. And that is the stabilizing factor that Ben and I talked about when he came in the game. Good numbers, and this is a guy that's had some starts this year. He can eat up some innings. And they needed to do so as Landon Stump didn't make it out of the second inning. Chris Grotus was starting to get hit a bit as well and starting to work behind hitters. Wyland Moss has been everything UCLA's needed to keep them in this game. Rhett Stokes will hit with 1 out. Stokes, a 2-hit day. RBI single back in the second in a drag bunt single in the third. Swings and misses at the off speed. And we talked about the changeup. Slider and curve is what we've seen predominantly from Wyland Moss. Working from the windup. 0-1 offering. Upstairs, a little bit off the plate, 1-1.
And it's not just the mixing, it's he's locating. And he's put the ball wherever he wants to. And the Huskers are really on their heels with this changeup. It's elite.
Yeah, it's, dare I say, Jake Myers-esque. Little blast from the past. 1-1 pitch. That one's hit sharply down the line, just foul. And oh my goodness, that was foul by inches. Rhett Stokes almost had his third hit of the game, and that would have been a big one because that was at least a two-bagger. But again, it'll be a Husker hitter having to battle down in the count 1-2. And the crowd has been a little bit more of a hush here offensively. Had so much to cheer about in innings 2 and 3, but give credit to Wyland Moss. He has, at least when Nebraska's been hitting, he's silenced them. 1 out, 1-2 count here on Rhett Stokes in the 8-hole for Nebraska. The pitch. That one's poked foul off to the right out of play. As somebody made a nice play. Rhett Stokes, 239 on the year. One of those key reserves for this Nebraska baseball team was inserted into the starting lineup yesterday against Penn State after the injury to Joshua Overbeek. This one just misses inside. Draws even 2-2 to Rhett Stokes. Rare fastball from Wyland Moss. Moss comes set at the belt. Now gets that glove near the face. Winds and deals. There's a ground ball hit to third. Handled by Martin. Throws over to first in time to collect the second out. It'll be up to Hogan Eligzo to try to keep this inning alive. Hogan has had a pretty solid tournament, both defensively and offensively. He's provided some offense, and anything you get from Hogan Eligzo in the batter's box is always a plus, especially the way that he handles this Husker pitching staff. He's really settled into the everyday guy. He was platooning for a while with Will Jeske. Jeske was swinging a hot bat. 0 for 2 today. First pitch, inside corner with the changeup. The Jake Myers changeup we make reference because, boy, as a Sunday starter, he was obviously a everyday player, but would get that start on Sundays, and that thing was fun to watch. 0-1 pitch, shot foul. Look out in the camera well. Wow. That's some pop off of the bat there. Late on that fastball. Now 0-2 to Hogan Eligzo. Wyland Moss has retired 9 straight Huskers. Hogan Eligzo trying to break that up. We're going to have to battle here down 0-2. The pitch off the plate, 1-2. UCLA coming in with an impressive 42-15 resume. As Ben mentioned, there's still a lot on the line for this Bruin team in the host conversation for the upcoming regionals next weekend. The 1-2 pitch just missed off the plate again, 2-2. Pitch 45 coming for Wyland Moss in this relief outing. Here's the 2-2 offering. Ground ball chopping over to Chalowski. Gets the big hop over to first for the easy play, and the Huskers go down in order, and that's 10 straight retired by Wyland Moss. We make our way to the bottom of the 6th inning here in the Big Ten Championship game at Charles Schwab Field. Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing on the Huskers Radio Network.
This is the sound of grilling season. It's time to get back to cookouts, to gathering with friends and family, and making memories. And with Hy-Vee's lower prices on thousands of items all over the store, you can still get the best quality meat and everything else you need for your barbecues at prices that will make you smile. Get back to grilling for less, with a little help from Hy-Vee.
They say consistency is the key to success. They weren't wrong. So how about grabbing a beer that's consistently smooth, consistently refreshing, and consistently light? you might just find that the road to success can be pretty enjoyable. Michelob Ultra, the perfect balance of taste and refreshment, and only 2.6 carbs and 95 calories. It's only worth it if you enjoy it. Enjoy responsibly. Anheuser-Busch Michelob Ultra Light Beer, St. Louis, Missouri.
Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Huskers Radio Network.
Alongside Nick Hanley, I'm Ben McLaughlin. Josh Hilkeman pushing the buttons for us. It's game day. Make it a Pizza Hut day. Order your favorite pizza, wings, and more from the Hut. Third trip through the order for UCLA against Ty Horn.
It'll be the top of the order. Dean West, Brock Chalowski, and Mulavai Lavu. Due up for the Bruins. There's Ty Horn. Has been outstanding to this point. First pitch to West. Breaking ball in there, strike one. Little things like that. Getting first pitch over for a strike. Being able to respond in some lengthy accounts. This inside with a breaking ball. 1 ball, 1 strike to Dean West. 0 for 2 today with a Bruin leadoff man and left fielder. .314 hitter on the year. Batting lefty, the 1-1 pitch. Hide outside with a fastball, 2-1. Velo's come down just a bit for Ty Horn, now 91 on that fastball. But just when you think that it's starting to decrease, he has a tendency, and seen this throughout the year, reaching back and finding something. This one bounces in the dirt. Now all of a sudden it's 3-1 here to Dean West. You just don't want to, and I know he's been able to work around some traffic, but this is not the type of traffic you want to get in this part of the order. See if Ty Horn can respond as he has so often today in this start. Here's the 3-1. Right down the middle with the fastball, 3-2. Big pitch coming here. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Here in the bottom of the 6th to the leadoff man for UCLA. Ty Horn giving it a long look. Now we'll step off. So now we're having...
They're going to say ball 4 on a pitch clock.
On a pitch clock. Oh, my goodness. Yep.
He didn't disengage.
Yep.
There's no disengaging with nobody on base. So he tried stepping off, but the clock doesn't reset. That's a tough one.
It was picked up by the first base coach and also the guy now making his way to the batter's box, Brock Chalowski. So... an unfortunate set of circumstances there. Now you got good speed setting the table here for UCLA, and one of the most dangerous hitters in all of college baseball, Brock Chalowski, the sophomore, who has been quiet to this point, 0 for 2. Takes a rip at that one, swings and misses. 0-1 on a 92-mile-an-hour fastball. And UCLA, Ben mentioned this earlier in the broadcast, they take every moment that they can. A quick throw back to first. West under the tag. They try to milk that clock as much as they can, especially trying to take Ty Horn out of rhythm. Ty Horn working from the stretch. Here's the 0-1. Missed outside. Good back pick there by Hogan Eligzo. Well, you just get the feeling this is a huge part of this game, given where they are in the order. They almost got Dean West on the pickoff. Ty Horn, that's something we've talked about, but probably not enough. He has got a deceptively quick pickoff move for a righty. He's gotten a few runners this season. Chalowski waiting, and he continues to watch the clock. Here's the 1-1. This one's turned on, but foul in the upper deck. Chalowski just getting ahead of that changeup. Now 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Brock Chalowski. He's grounded out twice to Rhett Stokes in this game. 0 for 2. Trying to get a big hitter here. Ty Horn set. The 1-2. Swing and a miss. And look at the emotion by Ty Horn. Little stare down back and forth between Chalowski and Ty Horn, but 20 wins the battle.
Yeah, you don't see emotion like that for out number one in an inning very often. That's how much attention and respect Nebraska has for Chalowski.
Doesn't get it any easier with Mulamai Lavu, the first baseman, left-handed hitter. 0 for 2. Had that deep fly out to right center that injured Robbie Bolin after making the play. And he turns on this one down the line. That's going to be extra bases into right field. Max Butinback picking it up. Dean West rounding third's going to hold up there, though. Now runners at second and third for UCLA after the one-out double for Mulamai Lavu. Dean West threatening to come down the line. This is the thing. Dean West is your absolute prototypical West Coast baseball player. He will try to push the envelope, do a little dancing, try to get you to make a mistake. A lot of those in between the ears things that they try to pull off. Dean West does it is about as much as anybody in this UCLA roster.
That wasn't a bad pitch from Horn. That was a changeup down at the shins of Lavu, who's able to turn on it. And Rob Childress going to come try and have a chat with Horn here. Huskers have Caleb Clark throwing and Casey Dice throwing in that bullpen.
Well, right now, Ty Horn at 75 pitches. He got a huge strikeout, being able to get Chalowski to fan it a 1-2 pitch. We told you Lavu, who had made some pretty solid contact throughout this game, just had nothing to show for it up until that last at bat. Doubles down the right field line. So West at third, Lavu at second. And does Ty Horn have any more magic in that right arm to get through another jam?
Well, you've got Clark getting hot. And after Martin, you've got 3 straight left-handed hitters. Yeah. And a 5-run lead. You obviously would love a 0, but can't let this inning get away from you.
No doubt. Another big moment in this game, Roman Martin. He's got one of the 3 UCLA hits today. 1 for 2 today. Hit the ball really well on the left side back in the second inning. So Martin will hit with runners at second and third. Dylan Carey, pretty good depth over there at short as he pops this one up foul, and that's going to reach the stands. Off to the right side, 0-1. So, yeah, that left side of the infield for Nebraska playing with some depth, understandably so. Ground ball over to Dylan Carey would score Dean West. Just trying to get outs here. Runners at second and third with 1 out here in the bottom of the 6th. One's turned on foul territory. Some room for Rhett Stokes racing over by the tarp and almost catching it as Dylan Carey as he leaned over the tarp and just couldn't hang on to it. He had leather on that as he doubles over the tarp and just could not secure the catch. That would have been a heck of a play.
That would have been ESPN worthy. It also would have scored a run. And he got a lot of mid on that, is exactly what you said. But you've got 2 strikes on the hitter now.
That's a good point about if he makes that catch. Dean West is tagging and scoring as Dylan Carey be halfway in the bleachers. 1 ball, 2 strikes. The pitch just missed with the breaking ball, and it missed. I don't even like saying it missed. It was high in the zone. Ooh. 2-2 on Martin. Second and third, 1 out. Bottom of the 6th, Nebraska leading 5-0. The pitch. Swing and a miss. Gonna have to throw down to first to complete it. They do so. There's 2 big outs. And Ty Horn. Well, we talked about the growth, both physically and mentally, for this young man. Rob Childress has talked about it a lot, and there's another example of that evolving Ty Horn nature. What a pitch.
Gutsy. And now the drop fly ball saves you a run for now. You've got to find a way to get out of this inning.
A.J. Salgado, 1 for 2. Swing and a miss on a breaking ball.
You've been talking about the crowd. This place would come unglued if Horn can get out of this mess.
Ty Horn, got to feel he's going on pure adrenaline now. 0-1 pitch. Just got a piece of that one. Fouled off the shin guard of Hogan Aligzo. 0-2 on A.J. Salgado. And you're going to hear the Husker fans in a matter of seconds here. Runners at second and third. No balls. 2 strikes. 2 outs. On the 5-hole hitter for UCLA. Ty Horn digging deep. Trying to work around another jam here. Here's the pitch. High and outside. Good spot. 1-2.
Yeah, stay out of the middle for at least one more. See if Salgado will get himself out.
Out of the windup. Fans come alive again. The 1-2 pitch. Missed on the breaking ball low. Salgado draws even now with Ty Horn. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, 2 on. Second and third, bottom of the 6th. Huskers up 5-0. The 2-2 pitch. Just got a piece of that one. And just got some leather on that foul back to Hogan Aligzo off his glove and to the backstop. 2-2. The count remains. Ty Horn winds and deals. Swing and a miss. Got him. Ty Horn letting him know. Husker Nation right behind him. Out of the jam. No runs. Off 1 hit, no errors, and 2 huge Bruin runners left on base. We're through 6 here at the Big Ten Championship game. Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing. This is Big Red Baseball.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership. Call John Henry's to learn more.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating and Air.
And electrical.
It's employee pricing with the Ford crew.
Employee pricing across a full lineup.
Fun fact, Hank, Ford assembles the most vehicles in the country.
Another fun fact, everyone pays what we pay.
So, you get employee pricing. You get employee pricing. You get employee pricing.
Sam.
Yeah?
Everyone gets employee pricing.
You get employee pricing.
Now get employee pricing available across a full lineup of Ford trucks and SUVs. Employee pricing, you pay what we pay. Only from your local Ford dealer.
This Husker baseball season is brought to you by Teammates. Teammates Mentoring is in need of mentors. We want you to join the team. Head over to teammates.org to learn more information about how you could get involved. Stones on Ty Horn in that inning to come back-to-back punchies with runners at second and third and an out to preserve the 0 on the board for the Huskers. And UCLA going to the bullpen. I think the Huskers are happy with this just to get Wyland Moss out of the game. They're going to go get flamethrower here. Cal Randall, 24th appearance, 2-1 record, ERA of 3.05. He's pitched 20 2/3, allowed 13 hits, 8 runs, 7 earned, 14 walks, 22 strikeouts. This is a high of a leg kick, as you'll see in college, and he brings it. He is in the mid-90s to upper 90s with the fastball, and we'll see if the Huskers can get some runs on the board. Have not scored since the third inning.
And unlike Wyland Moss has been mentioned, he's going to try to get you with that straight heat. And you almost get the feeling Nebraska's kind of welcoming that, even if it is 95 plus, because it was the changeup and the off-speed from Wyland Moss that had Husker hitters out on their front side and really uncomfortable. So it'll be the top of the order for the Huskers here in the top of the 7th. Riley Silva will lead it off, 0 for 2, hit by a pitch in the second. Sun really shining now here on the diamond in downtown Omaha. As I say, that off-speed goes outside after talking about how he'll try to get everybody with the straight heat. Starts with a changeup outside, 1-0. Randall kicks and fires. There's a fastball missed inside, 2-0. Cal Randall, sophomore out of Discovery Bay, California. One of many sophomores on this team. That number one recruiting class 2 years ago. There's a breaking ball in there for strike one. It's impressive to look at that roster and see the guys in their second year of college baseball. 2-1 pitch. Just got a piece of that one. Tapped off the left shoe of Riley Silva. Now 2-2 on the Husker lead man. Talked a lot about this in the UCLA series. Perfect Game had this recruiting class. This sophomore class is the number one ranked class entering Westwood. And they have looked the part. 2-2 pitch. Laid off a high heater, and they'll appeal down the third. But third base umpire Travis Reiniger said he did check his swing. It's now 3-2 on Riley Silva. Huskers would love to get a base runner, especially after the lift Ty Horn gave in the last half inning. This place would get rocking again. Here's the payoff pitch. And that one is driven into center field. Coming in is Peyton Brennan, and it'll drop in for a single. And that ends a string of 10 straight retired. And Nebraska has their lead man aboard and a chance to work for some more runs and some insurance here in the seventh.
And you got power on power here with Randall and Beauty. And let's see if Max can find a barrel.
And you got to go all the way back, Ben, to the Rhett Stokes bunt single back in the third. That was the last Husker hit up until Riley Silva's two-strike full count hit. So Max Butinback, again, brought into this game after the first inning when Robbie Bullen hurt his leg on making a great catch. First pitch to Beauty. High and out. On the fastball. 95 miles an hour on the heater.
Randall threw yesterday against Iowa and was perfect against the Hawks.
Max Butinback is third at bat of this game, 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. 1-0 pitch. Got a piece of that one just back to the screen on the heater at 95 again. That one was elevated up in the zone. 1 ball, 1 strike. On the Husker right fielder out of Lincoln Southeast. Max Butinback, who's had such a good season, especially as of late before a long illness sidelined him for nearly a month. The 1-1 pitch runner takes off. The throw down to second. Not in time. Gets out into center field. Riley Silva doesn't see it, though, and so he'll stay at second. Peyton Brennan was charging in. Even if Silva gets himself up, that might have been a close play at third. No need to risk it here. You got the man now in scoring position. It's a 2-1 count here on Max Butinback.
That's not an easy pitch to steal on. That's 95 up. And an easy pitch for Duggar to handle, and he just spiked it in front of the bag.
So Riley Silva gets stolen base number 10 on the year. Tied with Caden Brumball in the team lead. 2 balls, 1 strike here on Butinback. Runner in scoring position, nobody out here in the top of the 7th. Huskers looking for more after leading 5-0. The pitch. Breaking ball to Beauty. Snapped it on the inside corner. 2-2 on Max Butinback.
That was not a strike. Even close.
It was inside. Just looked at the old TrackMan, and I would agree. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Randall out of the stretch. Big kick fires. Ground ball over to first base. That'll move Riley Silva over to third. It's handled by Lavu. He steps on the bag, but now Nebraska has a big runner 90 feet away with less than 2 outs for Caden Brumball. Good job, Max Butinback, putting it in play and at the very least getting the runner 90 feet.
It's absolutely perfectly fine. 95 and on the hands with 2 strikes. You do exactly what you need to do. And now the Bruins forced to bring the infield in.
Caden Brumball does have a single in this one. Shot one through the right side in the first inning. He's 1 for 3 on the afternoon. 319 hitter. 74 hits. Big opportunity for 75 here with that drawn in infield. First pitch. Breaking ball way outside. Snapping a slider or two. Cal Randall, pretty much all he's shown is the fastball and the slider. And you're not kidding about that leg kick. It hurts my hamstrings just watching it. Here's the 1-0. Swing and a miss on the fastball. 94 miles an hour. 1 ball, 1 strike on Brumbaugh.
You got to make sure no one's around him when he's pitching. It's dangerous.
Long look in. Silva leading away from third with 1 out. 1-1 pitch. Just off the plate, 2-1. 97 on that fastball. Ben mentioned this is the power arm for UCLA. And he has shown it. Been 95, 97. 2-1 offering. Just got a piece of that one. 94 fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Caden Brumbaugh. If you're Caden Brumbaugh, you also have to be mindful of that slider on the outer half. Wouldn't be shocked if he tries to get Brumbaugh to chase that in that left-handed batter's box. Comes set. Here's the 2-2. He just floats this one foul, and that's going to reach the seats. For a moment, you're wondering, boy, if Caden Brumbaugh could just flick that over Lavu, but that thing was well foul on the right side. Just wasted the 86-mile-an-hour slider, and there it was on the outer half, just like we talked about. 2 balls, 2 strikes. See if he comes back with a heater. The pitch. Slider on the outside corner, just off the plate, but called strike 3. Caden Brumbaugh doesn't like it, and I don't blame him. That thing was off the plate. That is, you want your hitter to take that. And I think Brum saw that pretty well and just didn't get the call. My goodness. That's a tough one to go down on. So it's up to Gabe Swanson to bring in Riley Silva at third base now with 2 outs. Swanee today, 0 for 2, was hit by a pitch back in the second and scored. First pitch. Fastball up at 96 miles an hour. 1-0. Well, you mentioned good on good, power on power with Butinback and Cal Randall. We got that same matchup here. Comes set, 1-0 pitch. Just off the plate, 2-0. And I think they're probably going to be a little careful here with Gabe Swanson. Gabe now at 2-0. I mean, you're looking for 1 pitch and 1 pitch only. It's all about being on time here. Here's the 2-0. There's a fastball just on the outer half for strike 1. And that's the one for Gabe Swanson. You're not trying to go after it. That'll be a protection offer. Here's the 2-1. Just missed off the plate, 3-1. Tried to go in a similar spot with that fastball. Gabe Swanson showing some good discipline.
You said it. They're being very careful to Swanee, but I'm okay with Sanderson and the matchup on deck.
Sanderson would hit if Gabe Swanson could get on base. Riley Silva leading away from third with 2 away. Here's the pitch. Swing and a miss. Took a rip at that one. That was probably the best opportunity there in that count for Swanee to get one, and he just missed it. Now full here on Gabe Swanson. Big pitch coming. Randall kicks and fires. Swing and a miss. Got him. And so that will retire the side. No runs off 1 hit, no errors, 1 runner left on base. Stretch time here at Charles Schwab Field. Score remains Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing. The Huskers Radio Network.
Husker fans, it's game day, and Pizza Hut's got your perfect play. Score the game day special for just $29.99. Get 2 medium 3-topping pizzas, 8 boneless wings, and 5 breadsticks. Enough to feed 8 hungry fans. Pizza, wings, breadsticks, and more. It's the ultimate lineup to fuel your game day. Check out the full menu online at pizzahut.com or in store. Because remember, no one out-pizzas the Hut.
Elevate your drive and experience luxury and sophistication at Genesis of Southwest Omaha. Right now, receive a $1,000 bonus, plus choose 3.99% APR for 60 months or 4.99% APR for 72 months on our full lineup of 2025 Genesis GV80s. Stop by our showroom at Village Point or explore our offers online at southwestomahagenesis.com. With approved credit, tax title license extra. Must have qualifying competitive conquest or Genesis loyalty. $299 doc fee due at signing. Offer expires 6/2/2025. See dealer for details.
Nick Hanley, Ben McLaughlin with you here at Charles Schwab Field, the Big Ten Championship game. Josh Hilkman, Duke Rude back in our Acres Broadcast Center. Stretch time. Thousands and thousands of Husker fans singing "Take Me Out to the Ball Game." It's been somewhat tense. Nebraska putting 3 runs up in the second, 2 in the third, but 0 since. Had an opportunity to get a run in there in the top of the 7th, but some good pitching by Cal Randall for UCLA to end that threat. It'll be 6-7-8 due up for UCLA as the Huskers lead it 5-0 here in the Big Ten Championship. Nebraska needing to win this title to keep their season alive in an NCAA tournament. UCLA will be going to the NCAAs, but they have a shot to possibly host. Breaking ball misses inside to the leadoff hitter of the inning, Peyton Brennan, center fielder. 0 for 2, grounded into a double play in the second, struck out in the 5th. Ty Horn still at it here in the 7th. Fastball misses just low. 2-0 here on Peyton Brennan. And arms are ready to roll in that right field bullpen if needed. Fastball down the middle, 2-1. Peyton Brennan, a .275 hitter, 44 hits on the year. He's driven in 30 for the Bruins. Left-handed hitter, 2-1 offering. There's a curveball, turned on over ground ball to Caden Brumball. He flips it over to first for the first down. Getting that first out, so key. And good job by Ty Horn battling back, being down 2-0.
And the hope with every leadoff man out, the next guy starts to press a little bit more. And now, Horn has done a good job making outs disappear on the scoreboard. And UCLA is having a hard time stringing things together against Tide. They're more than capable of doing it. Yeah. But you got to tip your cap to what Horn's done thus far.
Blake Baltz, the DH, 7-hole hitter. Fouls off the first one he sees into the suites. 93 miles an hour on the heater there. We said this a couple innings ago, Ben. He'll start settling low 90s, but he can reach back and bring 1 or 2. He's shown that throughout the year. There's a weakly hit ground ball over to Caden Brumball, over to second. First. He was at second. Over to first. It's been a long week.
It's an out. That's what we should care about.
Exactly right. People are thinking, wait, why did he go to second? They just wanted to make it challenging.
Got him out. That's what you need to know. There's 2 outs in the 7th.
Cashel Duggar, the hitter. 8-hole hitter. And a ground out and a fly out. This is the first time that they've retired Baltz, too. He had walked and then was hit by a pitch. So a big out there. 2 away here in the bottom of the 7th for Duggar. 0 for 2. First pitch, low. 1-0 here on the 8-hole hitter. Pops this one up foul off to the left, going to reach the seats. It's 1-1. Phoenix call waiting on deck if UCLA extends the inning. Then it's the top of the order for the Bruins. Nebraska out hitting UCLA 8-3, leading where it counts as well, 5-0 on the scoreboard. 1-1 pitch. Another ground ball hit over to second. Caden Brumball busy, gloves it over to first, retires the side. Bruins go down in order. And how about Ty Horn? Just keeps coming at UCLA. We are through 7 here at Charles Schwab Field of the Big Ten Championship. Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing. This is Big Red Baseball.
Plungers and store-bought chemicals can only go so far and can harm your drains. Call the professionals at John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, Air, and Electrical to get your drains flowing. We won't only make sure the clog is taken care of, but we will ensure your drains are completely clean so the clog will not come back. Give John Henry's a call today.
435-5555. John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air.
And Electrical.
Huskers fans, switch to solar and save big. With J-Tech, you'll score $500 off any solar installation, a free energy analysis, and a free monitoring system to keep your home running like a champion. Plus, knock it out of the park with a 30% tax credit when you bundle solar with a metal roof. Book your free energy analysis today. Call 402-261-3682 or visit yourexteriorexperts.com. J-Tech Construction and Solar. Husker powered. Tax credits are subject to eligibility and IRS regulations. We recommend consulting with a qualified tax professional to confirm your eligibility. We are not accountants or tax advisors.
Stay healthy and active with natural chiropractic care. Did you know that chiropractic is safe and effective for all ages? It is proven to treat pain, improve mobility, and prevent injury. Find a chiropractic physician near you at nebraskachiropractic.org. Stay active with chiropractic. UCLA will go to the bullpen once again. And they will turn to August Souza. Souza will enter the game with a 5.91 earned run average. This will be his 24th appearance of the year. Does have a save. He's gone 21 1/3 this season, allowing 17 hits, 15 runs, 14 of those earned. He struck out 20 while walking 11. Opponents hitting .227 against the righty, now in for UCLA here as we've reached the 8th inning. Nebraska leading UCLA in the Big Ten championship game 5-0. And here to take us home once again is Ben McLaughlin.
Thanks, partner. Starting to get late. 8th inning. Huskers lead 5-0. They would love more runs. But the story today has been number 20, Ty Horn. 7 shutout innings. He's scattered 3 hits and has been absolutely dominant over one of the best offenses in the country and the best offense in the Big Ten Conference.
Leading off for the Cornhuskers in the top of the 8th inning. First baseman, number 14, Case Sanderson.
Case Sanderson going to lead us off here in the 8th. Souza will go from the stretch. The first pitch, down ball 1. It was a slider. Sandy today 1 for 3. Singled and scored back in the 2nd inning. There hasn't been a score since the 3rd inning. That was the Nunees home run. The 1-0 pitch. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Huskers would gladly take a few more runs in their last couple of trips to the plate.
Well, Ben, you just get the feeling UCLA, they're wobbling, but they're still up. You're just looking for that knockout punch by Nebraska.
Here's the pitch. There's a sharply hit grounder to short, backhanded by Chalowski. Throw is low, but it's picked by the first baseman, LaVue. I don't know that I would have taken that much time if I'm Chalowski, but I suppose if I have a rocket arm like that, you can do it. And he spiked the throw to LaVue, who picked it out of the dirt. 1 away.
Yeah, that was a little showmanship right there.
Sure it was.
Wanted to display the arm, and he knew he was just going to fire one right into the ground, try to give his first baseman an easier pick. He does so.
Here's DC. Boy, what a day he's had. First pitch is waved and missed on a slider down and away. DC is 2 for 3. And a warning here for going to the mouth for Souza. $5-0 Nebraska. They've out-hit UCLA 8-3. The pitch. Waved and missed again by DC. 0-2. Huskers would love some base runners here. DC way behind here in the count, though. Souza's pitch. Breaking ball popped up near us, just off to our right. And DC stays alive. Carey fighting with 2 strikes. Nobody on, 1 out. The Husker 8th. The pitch. Little jam shot floater to the first baseman, Lavu, who's able to glove it on the fly. About knee high for out number 2. Soft line out for Dylan Carey. And now Devin Nunees, who's had himself a lifetime moment here this afternoon. Popping a 2-run home run into the right field bullpen. The last scoring in this game, and it was all done with 2 outs. Souza, a big, tall right-hander, brings the first one home. Nunees watches it go low, skips by the catcher to the backstop.
Remember Devin Nunees, you just got the feeling that he was pretty amped after he walked in the second, and he looked back at the Nebraska dugout, flexing, and he was pumped. He was trying to encourage them. He's dialed in.
1 ball, no strikes. The pitch, way outside, 2-0. Nunees had a couple of doubles in the game yesterday. This isn't coming out of nowhere.
Right. Well, this is what he's done this season. I mean, you look at his average. He's still a work in progress on what his natural position is going to be as a college baseball player. He's such a good athlete, but this kid can swing it.
Here's the 2-0. Off the plate, 3-0. If Nunees can reach, Stokes will get another crack. Top of the 8th inning in the Big Ten Championship. 5-0. Huskers on top. Nunees awaits the 3-0. Taken for a strike. Off-speed pitch, 3-1. Should still get a pretty good pitch to hit right here. Souza goes from the stretch. The 3-1. In the dirt, ball 4. And the Huskers get a 2-out base runner. And Red Stokes will get a crack. Stokes, he's 2 for 3 in this one. RBI single in the second. Bunt base hit in the third. Grounded to third in the 6th. It's been all over the barrel today. A couple of hard hit balls just foul on the third base side. Nunees with good speed at first. The pitch to Stokes. Rhett takes a strike at 93. Right over the heart, 0-1. Has not been an easy ride to this point for the Huskers to get here. Flip over to first to check on Nunees. And really, the series with these guys right here had Nebraska questioning a lot of things, specifically the direction of this season. The 0-1, pitch out, nothing doing. The Huskers responded with 5 straight conference series victory. This, of course, when we all knew the schedule would lighten up eventually. But you still have to win the games. Huskers were able to do that. A ball and a strike on Stokes. Souza's pitch. Snaps off a beauty in there, 1-2. Then to get here, regardless of finish, is admirable from Will Bolt's Huskers. Now everybody with scarlet and cream in their blood want the Huskers to finish this as they lead in the 8th inning. The 1-2, way outside. 2 balls, 2 strikes on Rhett.
It's been a resilient bunch, Ben. I think that's the one word that comes to mind, even in those 5 series wins, how many times have they had to come back on a Saturday and either even it up or, in the Northwestern case, win a doubleheader to win the series?
Here's the 2-2. Stokes takes low, full count. Making Souza work here with 2 outs in the inning.
Resilient, dealing with the McConaughey injury, the Timmerman injury. Then you get the Max Butinback illness late in the season.
The 3-2. Inside, ball 4. And the Huskers putting a little 2-out rally together here. Souza not happy with that strike call or ball call, but it was above the belt of Stokes, who's reached base 3 times instead of Joshua Overby. And one of the unsung heroes of this tournament, really yet to make his mark yet in this game, is Hogan Helixo. See if he can throw a late punch here in the 8th.
Well, that's exactly right. Best way to describe Hogan in this Big Ten tournament. He has given Nebraska some offensive punch throughout the tournament and has caught just this staff so well, as he really has all year.
2 on, 2 out. Souza's pitch. Helixo springs and sprays a foul off to the right and makes it all the way to the upper deck, 0-1.
And it's been that attack on the outer half from Helixo. Had the double against Oregon yesterday that was able to sneak it right inside the right field foul line.
0-1. Runners get their leads. Here's the pitch. There's a bouncing ball to the right side. Second baseman over to his left. Bobbles for a second. Throws to first, still in time to get Helixo. And that ends the inning. So UCLA works around a couple of 2-out walks to get another 0 on the board for their pitching staff. No runs, no hits, no errors, and 2 left on base for Nebraska. We go to the bottom of the 8th. It's Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing on the Huskers Radio Network.
Being game day ready means bringing the diehard passion, all in, all the time. And now you can show your Husker pride everywhere you go with the Husker Visa debit card, free with FNBO free checking. Gear up, game on, and give it up for the Big Red. Every time you pay, the Husker Visa debit card, only at FNBO, the Bank of Husker Nation. Bring it. Get yours today at fnbo.com/Huskers. Member FDIC.
To be a part of Nebraska medicine.
Hi, welcome.
Is to be a part of something extraordinary.
Nebraska medicine, how may I help you?
Because these are the doors that open doors.
How are you?
To growth and opportunity for each other and for our community.
That went really well.
For those who know that the academic experience.
You know what? I agree.
The life experience that you get here is beyond what you can get anywhere else. And that's exactly why here is where you belong. Join us at nebraskamed.com/careers. Nebraska Medicine. Together, extraordinary.
Bottom of the 8th inning. Ty Horn back out for the Huskers. Needless to say, this is the longest he's worked in his Husker career. 94 pitches for the sophomore righty. Clevenger and Dice working behind Ty, and he's got 9, 1, and 2 due up in the 8th. Chalowski will hit here in this inning. First Phoenix call, the second baseman 0 for 2. Horn's first pitch, squares around to bunt, pulls back, it's a strike. He did everything he could to get hit by that pitch, and the pitch was right over the middle of the plate. Horn from the windup. Here's the pitch. Half-hearted swing and a miss. Very clearly went around. Horn ahead, 0-2. Horn miles ahead of Call here. The 0-2. Breaking ball just off the corner. Beautifully executed 0-2. Call batting .243 with 3 homers this year. The 1-2. Just low again. Good take there from Call. And the count 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Give UCLA a lot of credit. Several times throughout this game in a 1-2 or even a 2-2 spot, you've seen a similar pitch, and they've showed a lot of discipline 1 through 9.
The next one from Horn, just off the plate, full count. That was off. Call has taken 3 close pitches with 2 strikes. The payoff. Ripped foul, third base side. Went to the changeup. Call gets a good piece of it, and it's still full. Horn has to come with another strike. Here's the 3-2. Got him! Looking! Strike 3. Call is sat down. Big first out of the 8th. Horn just dotted him up.
Ben again. Getting ahead, then UCLA hitters have been able to work behind. They've been able to see a couple of pitches, some tough takes that most hitters are going to go at. This is why UCLA is so tough to get out. He continues to challenge in the right spots, too. Not giving in.
4th time through for UCLA. Dean West takes ball 1. 0 for 2 with a walk. 1 out in the 8th. 5-0 Nebraska. Horn's 1-0 pitch. West takes the strike. 1-1. UCLA not real content swinging early in the 8th inning. A lot of taken pitches from Horn. The pitch. Outside, 2-1. West, a left-handed hitter, 300-plus batter on the year for UCLA. The next pitch from Horn. My goodness. No clue.
Wow.
Kid up here throwing seeds all day. Does not get an inside corner strike here. Now it's 3-1 on West.
Cannot miss that.
The 3-1. Strike. 3-2. Another 3-2 pitch for Horn. The payoff. Ball 4. He lost him. And it's a 1-out walk. Now you have to face Chalowski.
Rock Chalowski 0 for 3 today, but when we talk about playing with a little bit of fire, and this is just a testament to the work Ty Horn has done. He's been able to win a lot of these battles against Chalowski. You just hope he can stay on him here. He's just such a gifted offensive presence.
Runner at first, 1 out. Horn's pitch popped up, goes after the first one. That'll reach the seats.
Chalowski's really the only hitter for UCLA that has offered early in counts.
Right. And if you're Horn, you got nothing to lose. Even if Chalowski takes you deep here, you still got a lead.
Yep.
You just can't let this spiral out of control. The 0-1. Bouncer third base side. That'll be foul. Horn again head of Chalowski. Not many pitchers can beat him 4 times in a game. Crowd sensing the moment. Flip over to first to check on West. Horn staring in to Haligso as he bends over his left knee. No balls, 2 strikes. Here's the pitch. That ball's driven in the air, high right field. Butinback should have it measured. He's coming in. He's got it. That's the 2nd out. And Ty Horn has beat Rock Chalowski 4 times in this game, and the Big Ten Player of the Year is 0 for 4.
There's just so many things about this start for Ty Horn that has been sterling. That is one of them right there. You know, this was the type of start, going back to that Michigan series, talking to Will Bolt before the game when Ty was getting ready to toe the rubber. He wanted to see him go 100-plus but be in control. He's getting that type of effort here from Ty Horn today in a big, big spot.
2 outs, a man at first. The pitch to Lavu. Fouled back. 0-1. Horn has emptied the tank. 111 pitches. And he's got 2 outs in the 8th. Pure electricity from 20 this afternoon. Crowd doing everything they can to help him through it. Here's the 0-1. Grounded foul, first base side, 2 strikes on Lavu. A strikeout here, and this place might come apart. Everybody to their feet in the 8th inning. Horn lets the right arm dangle. Way ahead of Lavu at 0-2. Here's the pitch. High 1-2. Lid fell off. Reach back for something extra.
94? He still got it. Wow.
Operating on pure adrenaline at this point.
Oh, my goodness.
Horn has been nothing short of masterful here in this championship game. 1 ball, 2 strikes on Lavu. The right-hander comes set. The 1-2. Bounce in front of the plate. It's 2-2. Another good take from a UCLA hitter with 2 strikes. Horn takes a deep breath. Wants another sign from Rob Childress. The Kansas native has the sign. Now throws over to first to chase back the runner. Lavu takes a deep breath. Horn just staring at him. Working on the first base side of the rubber. The sophomore righty to the belt. Here's the 2-2. Just missed low at 94.
And it was off the plate. That's the right call. It was close. Not a bad spot. Definitely a good spot, you feel like. And this is where UCLA, throughout the game, they've been tough to retire because of that.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bottom of the 8th. Horn's payoff. Breaking ball, loop down the left field line. This is trouble. Swanson chasing it, and it's a foul ball. Wasn't hit hard, but tailing away from Swanson. And for the Huskers, the right side of the line. And that was a beautiful pitch from Horn on 3-2. But he's got to come with another. What does 20 have left in the tank? Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Ty Horn comes set. Here's the payoff. Popped up left side, and that should reach the seats, and it will as Helixo runs out of room. Another extraordinarily long battle for Horn in the batter's box. Ty Horn has thrown the game of his life here in Omaha. He's doing everything he can to finish this 8th inning. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, a man at first. Horn has the sign. He comes set, and the 3-2 pitch. Popped up, playable, shallow left. Carey makes the call, backing up, and he makes the catch on his 118th pitch. Ty Horn has 8 shutout here in the championship. And a standing ovation for the sophomore right-hander. The guts on 20, and he's finished the 8th. No runs, no hits, no errors. A walk, 1 left. We're through 8. We go to the 9th. Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing. This is Big Red Baseball.
Pillar Restaurant Group is Lincoln's home for celebration. With a hand-cut steak and seasonal cocktails for your anniversary at Venue Restaurant and Lounge, a pitcher of mimosas and brunch favorites for your birthday at Piedmont Bistro, a 16-inch sub and freshly made cookie after your kids win the big game at Good Sense Deli Fresh Subs, or for your wedding in a luxurious downtown ballroom with Venue Catering and Events. Drink, dine, gather with Pillar Restaurant Group. Learn more and order a gift card for your next celebration at prgnebraska.com. That's prgnebraska.com.
At Cox Mobile, we know you're smart. You brush your teeth in the shower to save time, make coffee ice cubes for your cold brew, and wear goggles to cut onions. You also added Cox Mobile. So smart. Now you're running on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability and saving on your Cox internet. It's ingenious, just like you.
Aw, thanks.
Cox Mobile, the smart way to mobile. Cox postpaid internet required. Cox Mobile runs on the network with unbeatable 5G reliability as measured by Ookla LLC in the U.S. to H 2023. Other restrictions apply. Learn more at cox.com/mobile.
Let's pause 15 seconds for station identification on the Huskers Radio Network.
New pitcher in the game here as we've reached the ninth inning. Nebraska leading 5-0 in the Big Ten Championship. UCLA will bring in a righty, and that'll be Justin Lee, the sophomore LA native. Will enter, making his 29th appearance on the year. He's got a 3-0 record, 6.53 earned run average, 5 saves on the year as well, 30 1/3 innings work. He's given up 27 hits allowed, 23 runs, 22 earned, 28 strikeouts to 25 walks. Opponents hitting .241 against Justin Lee. Now in here in the top of the ninth for UCLA.
Whatever expectation Nebraska had for Ty Horn, he lapped it. 8 shutout innings. He matches and even improves on what Brockett did in the title game last year. Top of the inning, top of the order here in the ninth inning for Riley Silva. Justin Lee, first pitch misses, just catches a piece of the corner. Off speed, 0-1.
Attendance announced, Ben.
What do you got?
15,139.
Unbelievable. The 0-1, Silva bunts right out in front of the mound. Lee waits on it, fields, throws, a little bit low, but dug out by LaVue. One quick out for the Huskers in the top of the ninth, leading 5-0.
It was interesting. Riley Silva, right out of the box, on a sprint, mind you, kind of slammed his bat in disgust because he knew if he gets that bunt just a little bit on the third base line, he probably beats it out. That's the wherewithal that Silva has with not only his ability to handle the bat, but also his speed. And he still made that a bang-bang play.
Butinback, his 4th plate appearance. He had to enter for Bolin in just a second. Max takes inside corner. Called strike 0-1. Bolin had to leave after running that ball down in the right center field gap. That ended the bottom of the first. So Huskers without one of their best defenders the rest of the afternoon. Beauty swings and slashes this one out of play off to the left. He's down 0-2. Well, in between innings, Will Bolt gave, I wouldn't even say it was a conversation, direction to Ty Horn. I think his day is over. The 0-2 pitch. Butinback swings and lifts a fly ball just past the shortstop position. Chalowski backpedaling to make the catch for out number 2. In the ninth, the Bruins will have 4, 5, and 6 due up.
Second baseman, number 0, Jaden Rumbaugh.
118 pitches for Ty Horn to get through 8 shutout. Rumbaugh 1 out of 4. Goes to work on Justin Lee. The pitch. Breaking ball in there for a strike. Oh and 1 on Brumbaugh. Lee's pitch. High and tight, 1-1. Right-hander comes set in the pitch. High, 2-1. Lee, ready. Here it is. High, 3-1. If Brumbaugh could reach, Swanson would get one more at bat.
I wouldn't mind that. Would you?
I don't think many would.
No.
Myself included.
UCLA might.
The 3-1. Big swing, no contact on a fastball that was more toward the shins of Caden, and it's full. Three balls, two strikes. It's Caden Brumbaugh. The pitch, bouncer to short. Chalowski gets a chest-high hop, gathers, throws out at first. A 1-2-3. Top of the ninth inning. So here we go. Championship and season on the line. And Nebraska will take a 5-0 lead to it. No runs, no hits, no errors, nobody left. Casey Dice entering for Nebraska. Try and continue the Huskers season. Come on back for the ninth. You're listening to the Huskers Radio Network.
Pickup truck, sports car, motorcycle, minivan, townhouse, two-story, farmhouse, fixer-upper. What you drive and where you live is different for everyone, so it's important to have insurance that fits your needs and is just right for you. At Shelter Insurance, we understand that, which is why our agents help you design a comprehensive auto, home, and life insurance plan. Insurance that fits just right.
See Shelter Agent Mike Shepard or Craig Kerr in Lincoln, or Agent Jeff Martinez in Omaha today.
Feel like you're always on the run? Me too. As an independent financial professional, I help all kinds of busy people. Young families planning for college, couples working toward retirement, people securing their legacy. Wherever you are in life, Emeritus can help you get more out of life with insurance, employee benefits, and financial services. You're moving fast. Let's help make sure you're on the path to a fulfilling life. Find your next step at emeritus.com. Insurance products issued by Emeritus Life Insurance Corp.
Here we go to the bottom of the ninth. Nebraska will call on a senior from Florida, Casey Dice, to try to nail the Big Ten championship down for Nebraska. Casey Dice will make his 20th appearance, a 3.57 earned run average, 1-1 on the year, 22 2/3 innings worked. He's given up 20 hits, allowed 10 runs, 9 earned. He has struck out 14 while walking 8. Opponents hitting .250 against Casey Dice. Now in relief. Here to close it down for Nebraska after an amazing, absolutely phenomenal performance by young Ty Horn.
The start of a lifetime for him. And Huskers hoping the 5-run lead is enough here in the ninth. Middle of the order for UCLA. 4, 5, and 6. Martin, Salgado, and Brennan. When the coaches first told us about Casey Dice, the first thing he told us, he's got no heartbeat. Well, he's going to need it today. First pitch of the inning. Strike one at the knees. Right-handed hitting. Roman Martin is 1 for 3. The pitch. Just a touch low, 1-1. Dice, the senior right-hander. Will work from the stretch, the pitch. Just missed. Just missed. Low and outside. That was a quality spot from Casey. And it's 2-1. The pitch. Fouled off to the right and out of play. Count has squared up. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Crowd trying to help Casey through this first at bat. Here's the 2-2. Line drive, base hit center field. Good start for UCLA in the bottom half of the ninth inning. Not a bad pitch from Dice. It was low and out of the zone, and Roman Martin just ripped it up the middle. Here's A.J. Salgado. Dice more than capable of a ground ball. You'd love one at an infielder here. 5-0 Huskers, leadoff base hit for UCLA. The pitch. Outside, ball one. Five 5-0 Nebraska. Dice brings it in. That's a strike on the corner. 1-1. Plenty of action behind Casey if he needs help. Stokes way off the bag at third. Here's the pitch. Chewed him up. Ground ball just over the head of Dice. Stokes fields throws out at first. Big first out recorded. And just as I said, Stokes does not make that play if he's in his normal position.
Now, the most challenging part about that play, Ben, was him to gather his feet. He overhands that throw, but still able to control his arm to make an accurate throw on the run. That's not an easy play once you gather it. He's just been so solid in replacement of Joshua Overbeek.
Runner at second. And it's Peyton Brennan. Another left-handed hitter. The pitch. Fouled off to the left. 0-1. And more importantly, Dice has found the strike zone again.
Oh, this is interesting, Ben, because I think he did a good sale job. Luke Broderick is in the bullpen throwing.
The 0-1. Checked his swing on the pitch outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Brennan is 0 for 3. One ball, 1 strike, 1 out. Dice's pitch. Strike 2, inner half. Husker crowd to their feet once more. Casey has the sign. And the pitch. Called strike 3. Inside corner. 2 gone. Huskers an out away. And the last hope for the Bruins is Blake Baltz. Baltz, a left-handed hitter against the right-handed throwing senior Casey Dice. Casey steps off, uses his disengagement. 15,000 on hand to try and help Dice through the finish line. Here's the pitch. High ball 1. Nebraska trying to cap another improbable run to a conference crown. The 1-0. Outside, 2 balls, no strikes. There's no doubt, even with a guy who doesn't show any emotion, the heart rate's got to be through the roof right now. Dice holds the 2-0. Outside, 3 balls, no strikes.
You climb back into it here.
Dice has to come all the way back. The pitch. Strike, 3-1. All the Husker fans on their feet trying to help Casey Dice and the Huskers. Casey to the letters. The 3-1 pitch. Strike 2. And it's full. Here we go. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Dice has the sign. He collects the 3-2 pitch. Strike 3 called. Casey Dice finishes it for Nebraska. The dog pile is on. The Nebraska Cornhuskers have run the table and run it back. Back-to-back Big Ten tournament champions. With the guardian angel watching over this team, Nebraska runs through the field here in Omaha and have earned themselves a regional bid. Nebraska knocks off their second-ranked opponent in as many days. The Cornhuskers shut out the 13th-ranked Bruins 5-0 after 8 masterful innings from Ty Horn. All eyes now on Selection Monday tomorrow afternoon. And Jackson Brockett, hand them that trophy. They have done it.
Incredible. Absolutely incredible. With what this team showed, everything that this team went through the beginning of the year, the emotional turmoil, the injuries, just a slow start to the conference season against this UCLA team, and that 11 days in California we'll never forget, even though we wanted to. You got to believe, partner, that made this team so much stronger. When Will Bolt said it 3 weeks ago that he felt this team was playing their best baseball at the right time, there's your proof right there.
Nebraska 5, UCLA nothing. All of our post-game activities to follow. We'll be down with you down on the field here in a few minutes. This is Big Red Baseball.
John Henry's has a brand new membership club to protect your entire home in one program. With a VIP and a deluxe option, we will help you find the plan that best fits your needs. Receive discounts on services and equipment, priority service, complimentary inspections, and so much more. Protect your home's plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical systems all in one membership.